forward, taking our shot. Always seeking our next big win. Here in Gwinnett, we're leading the chase because we have a vibrant.
Hello and welcome to SportalTV's Game of the Week. Brian Zwerner here with John Morgo. John, it's going to be a great night for football up here as the Lassiter Trojans visit the Kell Longhorns. What are you looking for tonight, John?
Well, we've got a great game here at the Stockyard up in Woodstock, home of the Kell Longhorns. Kell comes into the ball game 1-0, a thrilling victory over East Coweta, 38-36. Brian, you were at that game. It looked like they had it well in hand, but East Coweta, they capitalized on some Kell turnovers, Kell mistakes, and only had a chance to win it, to tie it anyway. At the end, came up short. Kell escaped with a 38-36 victory over on Lassiter. They are 1-1. Group got blown out by Harrison in their opener, 48-0. Then they defeated Pope last week, 20-13. Defensive stand was the key in that one, but Lassiter got all their offense from number 2, Namadi Orojoki, and he will be a player we're going to watch today. He's already got 3 touchdowns. On Kell's side, well, they got a nice quarterback in Evan Conley. The Appalachian State commit completed 50% of his passes against the Indians for 122 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's going to be flinging the ball to a couple of people. First of all, he's going to be going to Cameron Ball, who had 3 catches. Sam Blancato had 2 touchdowns, and also Ebony Jackson. He rushed for 128 yards and 1 touchdown. And Brian, you were telling me during the week that Kell's got a high-flying spread offense. They're going to move people all over the place. It's going to be up to Lassiter's defense, which, after all, they allowed 48 points to Harrison. Can they keep up with Kell's high-octane offense?
Yeah, John, I was at that game at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and it was a wild one. Kell had the 8-point lead going deep into the end of that game. The East Coweta scored. They needed the 2-point conversion to try to tie it up. The score was a ball that was tipped by 2 defensive backs and landed in the hand of the wide receivers for the touchdown. Weren't able to convert the 2-point conversion. Less than a minute to go. East Coweta kicks the onside kick. The ball flips around 3-4 times in the air and gets picked up by East Coweta, but they threw a pick, and that was the way that game ended, with a 2-point finish. So very exciting one. Kell, with the strength of that victory over a good East Coweta team, comes up to number 10 in our 5A Sportal News Coaches Poll. So looking good. You know, new coach last few years here, Brett Sloan, done nice things with the program. They went 5-6 overall, but 5-3 in the region was good enough for 3rd place and got them into the playoffs last year. Unfortunately,
they ran into Rome in the 2nd round, I believe, and got bounced out that way. But now it is, again, a new team, and Evan Conley, again, he's going to be the focal point. They really, Coach Sloan, like I said, had to run that spread offense. Again, Lassiter, you would think Lassiter would have the good quarterback, because they are known as the kind of a quarterback cradle, with Huston Mason graduating, being an alum of the Trojans. Said their quarterback is Mitch Storm, and he had a pretty good day against Pope. Overall, he's 21 out of 40, 191 yards. But Lassiter prefers a ground attack, and ground attacks are good when you're ahead, not so much when you're behind. And we'll see who gets that opening field momentum heading into this one. Is it going to be the Longhorns or the Trojans? You'd think the Trojans would have the advantage. They are in the top classification. Kell's kind of split off from Lassiter, and they're down in 5A. But this is an interesting rivalry. This is the 13th time these teams have played. Lassiter's got a 7-5 advantage. This is the team that Kell has played the most in their history. But, looking at the numbers, it does seem that Kell's got all the momentum on their side.
Yeah, if you're not from this area, these schools are only 2.8 miles apart as Google Maps maps it out. Lassiter, we heard, 50% bigger than Kell, not 2,200 student body to 900 here at the home of the Longhorns. The last 3 in a row in this series went to Lassiter. Lassiter won last year, 38-35, so they've got the momentum in this one. Yeah, you were talking a little bit earlier about the Trojans' run offense. Orgioke, the junior running back, scored all 3 touchdowns versus Pope and had 180 all-purpose yards. Number 3, Orgioke, guy we're going to be keeping an eye on. And we were told Ivan Yates, their shutdown corner, he was matched up all in that game with All-State wide receiver Zach Owens, and he really held him to a very weak game, and he really showed up big. We're going to see if he can stay with the wide receivers here for the Longhorns, Blancato and Del Pio, number 11 Blancato, number 7 Del Pio. So those are guys we're going to be keeping an eye on. Today's game is brought to you by SportalSpace. SportalSpace connects communities through youth sports. SportalSpace, every practice, every game. John, we're going to kick it over to our studio hosts, Kyle Sandy, our director of media, Ned Case, and they're going to give you a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be seeing here in this matchup.
This week's SportalTV game can be just as exciting as last week's, and we'll see if it is as Lassiter travels to take on Cobb County foe Kell. We're going to take a look at the 1-0 Longhorns.
This Friday's SportalTV Game of the Week is between Lassiter and Kell. Over the last 10 years, the two Cobb County schools have seen success on the gridiron, making deep runs into the state playoffs, but are still seeking their first ever state title. Kell kicked off their season with an exciting 36-34 finish in the Corky Kell Classic against Class 7A East Coweta. Head coach Brett Sloan is in his third year coaching the Longhorns, and the squad has been a fixture in the 5A state rankings.
Kell is led by a pair of App State commits in quarterback Evan Conley and safety Nick Ross. Conley's a fantastic quarterback who's looking to spread the ball all over the field to senior wide receivers Leo Delpin and Sam Blancato. Ebony Jackson had his coming out party against East Coweta when he rushed for 138 yards on 20 carries, including an electrifying 54-yard dash down the sideline. Defensively, Ross is that athletic safety who patrols the middle of the field. He's helped out at the linebacker spot by the junior Branson Hall. Keep an eye on him as he was all over the field against East Coweta.
This week's Sport Kell. After Kell, we took a look at Lassiter heading to the Frank. Trojans coming off a 20-13 win against Pope. They're ready for a good one against Kell.
Jeff Irwin's Lassiter team started off their season with a rocky 48-0 loss to county rival Harrison, but bounced back beating Pope 20-13 last week.
Junior running back Namdi Orgioki came up big against Pope, scoring all 3 touchdowns and totaling 180 all-purpose yards. Additional support for the offense comes from the powerful 6'3 wide receiver Buchi Luambi. His skill can make a big difference in the red zone. Defensively, the junior quarterback Ivan Yates played stellar against Pope's all-state wide receiver, limiting him to just 2 catches for 14 yards. Jack Ferguson and linebacker Tristan Decker are a few other guys to look out for on the defensive side of the ball.
That was Kell.
And that was our preview of this game coming up between the Kell Longhorns and the Lassiter Trojans. You can see more content like this on the SportalTV YouTube channel. We have the best live broadcasts, highlights, features on high school sports. Subscribe now. Hit that subscribe button to the SportalTV on YouTube. Brian Zwerner here with John Morgo. John, we got about 10 minutes here to kick off. They're doing a great program down there honoring veterans of the United States military. We see them down here. We got a little bit of glare coming through the windows. We're waiting as long as possible to the opening, and it looks like the band's getting ready to roll, John, down there.
Yes, the band's getting ready again. This is Military Appreciation Night here at the Stockyard, which is the sobriquet of our stadium here at Kell, home of the Longhorns. Kind of not surprising. Lassiter was already there in the locker room. They went through their warm-ups a little bit earlier. Again, Lassiter coming in at 1-1. They are in the top. They are in the top classification, but they're in a very tough region. They've got Walton, Roswell in there, and that's going to be very tough. But again, it is a 6-team region. Lassiter does have a chance to kind of sneak in to the playoffs. Kell, of course, they're in Region 7, but boy, are they in with a tough team. Rome, they got the Rome Wolves to deal with. So that's going to be a big game when those two play a little later on in the campaign.
Now, both these guys put up a whole lot of offense in their games so far this season. Kell had 36 points in that game at the Bends, and last year averaged north of 34 points. Lassiter themselves putting up over 30 points a game last season. Let's swing over to the defensive side of the ball. On the defensive side for Kell, we've been told to keep an eye out. Number 4, Nick Ross, the senior safety, and also another App State commit. Branson Hall, the linebacker, number 13, he's been described to us as one of their defensive leaders. The big man in the middle, the defensive tackle, Andrew Parlato, number 76, second-team All-Region last year, and a senior defensive end, Just Holt, number 52. So another returning starters on duty out here.
Sorry, Brian. Another name to pay attention to, number 19, Stephon Green. The senior had 2 interceptions 2 weeks ago against East Coweta, so he'll be a gentleman we are also going to pay attention to on that end. Again, as you mentioned, Nick Ross joining Evan Conley, going up to Appalachian State up in the mountains in Boone. So we hope their coaches are watching us as they get ready to take on Penn State tomorrow up in Happy Valley.
Yeah, 8 returning starters. I mean, a relatively new coach here in Coach Sloan, but he's got some senior leadership out here on this team. They've had a good pipeline, and we're hoping to hear from the Kell junior team here. We're going to take a quick pause from our broadcast for the national anthem. Nice rendition of the national anthem by the Kell Band. John, they go about 50, 60 strong at least out there with this Kell marching band. We got a chance to see them down at the Corky Kell Classic at the Mercedes-Benz, and they'll be out here again at the halftime.
And we also had a nice rendition of the Kell alma mater song by the Kell, I guess you'd call it a glee group, a choral group. They were in our press box. They were trying to entertain us with that, so I thought for a minute that they would be doing the national anthem. And we just heard the alarm, but I don't think that is, I think that's more of a candle alarm. I don't think that's an actual alarm because we have very good weather here today. The sun is out, it's bright, but it is going to, hiding behind like a stratocumulus cloud as we have some pyrotechnics down to our right. Here come the Kell Longhorns. They're going to be, oh boy, Brian, we're going to have fun tonight because we're going to Wang Chung tonight because they are white with red stencil numbers. It's going to be very interesting to see these players as they go at it tonight.
John, I told you earlier I'm a big Miami Hurricane fan, and they're coming through like the Miami Hurricanes of old, coming through the fire extinguisher cloud down there. Not sure if we've been able to pan over and give you the full view of it, but it's going to be a big night. These schools just 2.8 miles apart. A lot of families from both sides around here. It's going to be a crowded crowd out here tonight. We are joined, as we always are, by Hot 107.9 and the Dirty Boys. They are invading the best games this season with their Friday Night Highlights high school football tour powered by SportalTV. For more information on schedules, teams, and highlights, visit hotspotatl.com. John, they kicked us down to 12 minutes left on the clock. They look to have stopped it.
Yeah, I think, no, that's the 12 minutes, Brian, for the quarter. So I think that we're getting pretty close as Kell moves out to run through their banner to come out on the football field. Lassiter is going to be gathering behind their banner. Now that sun just went behind a nice stratocumulus cloud, so I think we're going to be okay with the glare for a little bit. I think it's going to happen right as kickoff starts, so I think we're going to be in good shape sun-wise as we bring things to a head here tonight. Hank Manning, okay. Okay, I got it.
All right, so we are getting close here. I'm going to give you a good look at the captains out there at the front, getting the coin toss going. We'll see if we get a ruling up here on who's who and what's what with that.
Yeah, Rashad Lewis is going to be our head referee. He's wearing the white hat today. He's got his crew going. Brian, this is going to be an interesting game for Kell because next week they start region play, and boy, what an assignment they get right off the bat. Rome Wolves coming here next week. That is going to be a very tough ball game. And Brian, you got to wonder, you got to ask yourself, is Kell overlooking Lassiter to next week against Rome?
I was out here, John, and they were all business at practice. They wanted no part of our camera crew getting anywhere near everything. They seemed pretty darn locked in. They had a bye week, and they still wanted to make sure that we didn't get in there and distract any of these kids. So I think it's unlikely Coach Sloan has let them look past this game. They know this is a rivalry game. This team coming from just a few miles away. We're going to give you a good look at the home of the brave, Military Appreciation Night sign over there. We'll see the Kell team in all white coming through that sign in a second. The band right there has made a nice hole for them. We're down to 12 minutes on the clock, so we should be getting ready to roll here any moment.
Exactly. Again, Kell coming in 1-0. That bye week last week. Lassiter's got their bye week next week. So if your bye week is next week, you guys can lay it all on the field here tonight, and I believe that's what the Lassiter Trojans are going to do regarding this ball game, as we'll go into the Lassiter schedule a little bit later. Again, Lassiter, that really was the cradle of quarterbacks at the start of this decade, especially with Hudson Mason. And I want to say Eddie Prince was after him. He a very good quarterback in his own right. But, Lassiter just kind of, they've kind of lapsed back into the middle of the pack in the top region of state of Georgia. And there are a lot of teams that they can get lost in the shuffle. And so, Lassiter just wants to get back on the winning edge.
Yeah, they were in the state semifinals in 2011, the quarterfinals in 2009, John. So this team's got plenty of success in their DNA. So we'll see what they can do coming out here, sitting at 1-1 so far this season. A loss to our number 3 ranked in the coaches poll, Harrison. Real tough opener for them, and then a nice grinded out victory, 20-13 over Pope last week.
Exactly, as Kell has come through their banner. Lassiter's already gone through their banner, so we are getting very close to kickoff here from the stockyard here at Kell High School. Again, John Morgan, Brian Warner, thank you very much for joining us here on SportalTV. Thank you very much for subscribing. This is game 3 of our package. Next week will be at Langston Hughes against Mays. That's going to be a very interesting ball game. But this one, when the schedule first came out, this was the game that I really paid attention to. I thought this might be the best game we would have all season long, and 2 named teams. Even though you look at Kell, they are a Cobb County school, but their region, there's a little strange region. They're the only Cobb County school in their region, which features a lot of teams on that 75 corridor heading up to Canton. So it's very interesting. And Kell just kind of gets lost in the shuffle just a little bit with that region, but they've got such a name behind them. The eponymous with the Corky Kell Classic, they always got in there. And it's kind of funny, Brian, you said you were at that game. Kell historically plays the 9 a.m. game at Mercedes-Benz, and that's a very interesting game you have to play right off the bat, right with everyone
Sloan
else.
Said he had to get these guys up at around 5:30 to meet up down here to drive down to the stadium. We'll talk briefly about our prior game of the week. Last week we had Stevenson Southwest DeKalb matchup. It was phenomenal. It went to overtime. Stevenson dropping to Southwest DeKalb for the first time since 2004. We are about to be underway here as the Kell Longhorns in white will kick off to the Lassiter Trojans in the scarlet and gold.
Yeah, fortunately, Lassiter will get the opening kickoff. Got it at about the 5. I think it was bobbled a little bit, coming to the near side and down at the 15-yard line.
That was Nuwabi there with the return, and man, you're right. He did bobble that one at about the 5-yard line, John. Dangerous way to start the game.
Yeah, so Boucher Nuwabi on the kick return as we are underway here from the stockyard. John Morgan, Brian Warner here on SportalTV. So Kell will get will be on defense first. First down and 10 at the 15-yard line. Again, Mitch Storm is your quarterback, 21 of 40 on his career, 191 interception, no touchdowns. But again, we're going to be paying attention to number 3, Namadi Ojioke. He had 3 touchdowns against the Greyhounds last week. It was really Lassiter's defense that kind of cemented the victory, and on first down it will be Ojioke, but he is slung down hard immediately in the backfield.
Nick Zakaris, number 22 on the carry there.
Okay, he was brought down by number 2, Roman Jones for Kell.
Yeah, he came in right off that defensive end, John. There was nobody that got a body on him and sealed that end, and he came up and made the easy stick there, put him into second and deep now, about 13, 14.
Yep, lost 3, so second and 13, ball at the 12-yard line.
Zach Harris still in the backfield there, not Njoki. Yeah.
In fact, it is Zach Harris. No, they did a counter, and it was a dive, I believe, by Mitch Storm. Nothing doing there. I think he might have gotten back to the scrimmage, maybe a yard to the 13-yard.
Ball. Now they've got themselves in a big hole here on third down. Kell's going to come after him.
Storm back deep, rolls to his right, trying to get around one of the pursuit players, throws on the run. It's complete, short of a first down, however, to the receiver. That is number 30. That is number 35 for Lassiter. That is Jonathan Lyle. Yes.
Yeah, nice play there, but he comes up well short, and they're going to have to punt so deep back in their own end zone here. He wasn't able to get it across that line out to the first down marker because there was a lot of pursuit coming as they tried to roll him out. The defensive end was not blocked well, and he was in trouble out there.
So a 3-and-out for Lassiter. A short punt gets over the Kell defense and will roll, still rolling, and it goes out of bounds at the 30. That's where it's marked, and it'll be first down and 10 for the Longhorns with 10:16 remaining.
That was Mitchell Storm, the quarterback, with a punt, and it looked like the Kell wasn't really prepared for the punt. They had nobody back deep, and he just kind of pooched it out there, and the thing just got to rolling real nicely for him, and they'll make something out of that, at least flip the field a little bit, and Kell will have to take over here around the 30-yard line.
First and 10 with 10:16 remaining. Kell's going to start in, looks like a one-back set. 3 to the top, 1 at the bottom. Evan Conley, the Appalachian State commit, under center, in the shotgun.
See a lot of these spread looks out of the Longhorns tonight. They like to move people around and get things moving.
They'll throw on first down the slot, a little curl route complete to the 40, and that's going to be a first down. That looked like it was number 11. That would be Sam Blancato.
Yeah, the wide receiver screen was set up out there, and it looked to me like a little bit of a hold out there, John. But that go on the cornerback on the far sideline, and Blancato is able to move the chains for him.
That's an 11-yard pickup. First down for the Horns.
Nice to see this is going to get called a little different than last week. We had about 20-something penalties in our game last week. Nice to see the referees letting them roll a little bit.
Again, Rashad Lewis is your head referee. I'll run through the rest of the officiating crew in a little bit, but actually, you know what, Brian? I think they called it.
Oh, look at that. They sure did. We didn't see the flag. We apologize. A lot of glare down there. They're bringing it back to the original line of scrimmage approximately.
And it'll be first down and 9 after that. So you called the hold, and so did Rashad Lewis. He called it as well. Richard Pepe is your umpire. Rodney Miller, head linesman. Nate Papillon is your line judge. Daniel Boldrick, your side judge. Field judge is Stephen Bailey, and it's Dexter Wakefield running the clock. First down and 9, the end around. Nice move to get into secondary. 35-36-yard line. That's number 15 for Kell, and that one
didn't make our roster,
no,
unfortunately. We apologize for that, and we're going to do our best with these calls, but the white-on-white numbers making it real tough out here, especially with the sun in our eyes, but we'll try we can. It was a different look there that time. They went double tight end and really beefed it up, and then they had that little jet sweep look into it, and it was a nice pickup there.
Second down and about 3 from the 37. Kell's Lassiter cheated a goal man to go down the sideline. So it's a straight draw, getting maybe 2 to the 39.
That's going to bring up a third down and about 2-3 yards here, right in front of us at around the 39-yard line.
That was B.J. Absent, number 33.
Yeah, they're going to give him about 3rd and 1, it looks like here. So let's see if they try to go a little bit bigger and try to get something on the ground down here. They're mostly a throwing team, but look for Ebony Jackson, number 21, the running back in this type of situation, John.
So 3rd and short from the 39. Conley will call for it, and he's going to be a keeper. And he's trying to get to that 40. I think the last push got him over the line. So that should be a first down to the 41. It is.
Yeah, held his own number there. Thought he was going to give that ball off to the running back, but let Ebony Jackson come in there and bash the hole for him, and that was enough to fall forward for the first down.
So 1st and 10 at the 41. You know, Brian, that's where that reception to Blancato wound up. So they get that yards back. It just took a couple minutes off the clock. Ball's on the far hash. Kell going right to left across your computer screen here in the quarter number 1.
Back into the spread look, and John, there's not a lot of coverage being rotated down to these guys on our near side here.
No,
you got 2 guys and only 2 defenders here, so he's got one-on-one opportunities if he wants it.
Yeah, they need a safety to come help out. That's where Conley's going on a give and go, but through the hands of his intended receiver, Blancato.
Oh, John, I saw that coming. They didn't roll the defense over, and they were giving him a huge cushion. Blancato ran a nice little route into the inside, and he was open, and that could have been 6 if he had held on to that one.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Good effort to kind of split that defense. And you were right, Brian. They only had one corner man on covering those 2 guys on the near side, and they really need to rotate a safety.
And we're back in that exact same look here. The safety's still spying into the backfield for the run, and he's given a huge cushion over here as a result.
2nd down and 10 from the 41. 8:10 remaining.
Fake the jet sweep, go up the middle, and it's going nowhere. Great play by the Kell defense.
Yeah,
the Lassiter defense.
Yeah, Lassiter was all over that play, absent again. And they are absent a couple of positive yards. It'll back it up to maybe the 39 is where they're going to put it. So it's a 3rd down and about 2.
Yeah, clock rolling under 8 minutes here. A little bit of clock being run down as Kell moves to a 3rd down for the 2nd time in this possession already. And they're going to have to spread this out. Let's see if Lassiter gives them a little bit of a defensive look change here. Still really only rolling one guy hard over to these 2 men at the bottom of the screen here where we are. And it's going to give a nice cushion, good opportunity to work the middle of the field if they want it.
That secondary man is Ivan Yates, we were told to pay attention to. Looks like Conley wants to go that way. He rolls out of the packet and now has to go to the sideline route and over the head of Blancato, cutting down the field, and he knows he had that one.
That's another opportunity lost. I think the Kell offense is going to look back at those 2 plays to Blancato and know they got their speedy wide receiver behind the defense. He was rolling out. He was under pressure. He didn't have a lot of time to set his feet and throw that one, but that was an opportunity for them to really move the ball and get some real chunk yards down the field. Now they're going to have to punt here on 4th down in their own territory.
He was covered by Jack Ferguson, but hold on, we got a penalty flag. But it's against Kell.
I thought I saw a hold going on back there. They were coming hard at him. And Conley rolled out to the right, and it looked like the defensive end was being held up there, and the referees are making these calls now.
Well, Lassiter more than likely will decline that one.
Yeah, let them punt from their own 38-yard line here.
Well, no one has gotten back deep for Lassiter. Now
it looks like Yates is going back now.
Yes, he is.
We heard Yates had a fantastic game against Pope, shutting down their all-region. Oh, looks like Kell is at least going to show that they're going for it here.
This
might
is a very
see a pooch kick here out of the quarterback.
Very dangerous play here as Conley is back there. He might pooch it, as you were saying, Brian. And Yates has come back into to guard his man on the near side, but there's still 3 up at the top on that sideline route. 1 at the bottom.
Yeah, I got to believe this is going to be a kick. He's at the 39-yard line here.
And now he's coming up like he wants to get the ball. They put a man in motion, trying to block on that far side. Overloaded, and yes, Conley is going to kick it. And it's a high kick. I think it might have been partially blocked. It'll go out of bounds at the 40.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I know that when we were over here a week and a half ago, John, the main kicker for Kell, who goes about 6'4", towered over me, was injured. And they were working a backup kicker when I came over here about 10 days ago. So maybe that factored into the thinking, or maybe that's normally what they do. We haven't seen these guys enough to tell you the answer. In the Corky Kell game, there wasn't much punting going on with this squad.
No, not with the 38-36 final score. And it's the second chance for Mitch Storm and the Lassiter Trojans.
See if they get Nuabi into the backfield here.
No,
Ojiki into the backfield.
No, it's still Zakaris who's back there to the top of Mitch Storm. Now Mitch puts a man in motion, and that might be an illegal shift.
Sure will be. We see a bunch of laundry on the field. That's our 3rd flag in the early going in this game. And sadly, John, I'm going to track him again because it was a huge issue in the Stevenson Southwest DeKalb game, and it appears to be another one here tonight.
That was Jonathan Lyle who got flagged for it. And Lyle will jog back to where he started on that far side. The receivers, you got A.J. Miller at the sideline route.
And we're told to watch for number 9, Nuwabi, as well, as another guy who can make things happen from the receiver spot.
Well, Nuwabi's going under. Second down and 10, 6:59 remaining in the opening quarter. No score between Kell and Lassiter. Two teams separated by only less than 3 miles, meeting for the 13th time.
Yeah, last 3 games to the Trojans here, so let's see if they can keep the streak alive.
Let's see who gets the lucky 13. And a direct snap to Storm. He's going to take it up the far side. He's got room, goes down the sideline. He's at the 50, he's at the 40, trying to cut up field, and he's going to be brought down at the 25-yard line.
Heck of a run by Storm. Really didn't get much in terms of blocking up front there, John, and he just made that happen himself. He scored it through a little hole at the line, went right off that left side, and then he saw the sideline, and he got to running. He did a great job just making that happen.
Pickup of about 36. Ball at the 24, and Lassiter's in business. At their own 24-yard line. Storm only has 38 yards rushing in the first 2 ball games, so he
Pretty
almost
much doubled it right there.
Exactly. First down, it's a handoff just right up the middle. And that is Zakaris, who's been getting a boatload of the early carries, and I think Zakaris will get back to the line. Again, Zakaris, number 22, senior running back.
Yeah, we hadn't heard much about him coming in after the big game by Orjiki. We really expected him to be the guy that would carry the offense, and that hasn't been the way it's gone.
Second down and 10. Zakaris split to the bottom, leaving Storm an empty backfield. He goes, throwing it toward the end zone, looking for Nuchabi. He got him, and it is a flag through.
I think it's going to be pass interference, but they're going to wave that off. He's down at about the 1-yard line. That was a really nice catch. The DVE was all over him, and I think they're going to call that play on him.
So Nuwabi with the reception, and that is going to be put at the 2, but again, the officials are talking. If it's against Kell, it'll be declined. The only question is if it's offensive pass interference, but I don't believe that was the case.
Now, it looked like Nuwabi was being draped upon by the DB there, and he did a really nice job. I mean, Mitchell Storm just put that ball up and let his receiver go get it, and he did a great job of staying concentrated even through the contact and pulling that thing down around the 1-yard line. But we're still waiting for the official call on the field.
And Storm only a junior, so he's trying to.
Looks like it's gonna go against Kell. It's going to be defensive holding, and they're going to decline that, and it's going to be first and goal at about 1-2 yard line, looks like.
Well, that'll be a pickup of, the ball's going to be on the near hash, pickup of 22, or 23, actually.
Yeah, Storm just kind of floated that one out there, trying to let his receiver go under it and make a strong individual play. He just battled that DB through the penalty and pulled down the ball at the 1-yard line.
So it'll be first and goal at the 1 as we are under 6 minutes remaining in the opening frame. Lassiter looking to take first blood in this contest.
And we were expecting a big score. Both of these teams putting up over 30 points a game last season, so we were expecting a big score. When these two teams matched up last year, it was 38-35. So being halfway through the quarter here, John, I was looking for a little more fireworks. We might get our first blood drawn here in just under 6 minutes remaining, about halfway through the first quarter.
Looked like Elijah Dyer entering. And Chad Goddard coming out for the Longhorns. And they're all in white with that red stencil outline. And Lassiter with their traditional USC garb. Zakaris in the backfield. They're going to give it to him. No, Storm keeps it on the bootleg. He's being chased, and he'll go down.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble out there, guys. There were 3 guys on top of him. We are sitting right next to the Lassiter coaches, and they wanted to try to throw that one away, but there was no way for him to set his feet and get that throw off. So that's going to set up second and goal at about the 15. John, I'm getting a word from our man on the down on the sideline, Chuck Jones. He's over in the on the Kell sideline. He says the offensive coordinating coach is stressing execution of the offense. They really got to execute. He feels like they're doing what they need to do, but they're just not finishing the plays.
That was Roman Jones with the sack. Now on second down, Storm finds Nuwabi, but he's wrapped up immediately.
Great defensive play by the corner out there. He takes him down, and that's the same man again, number 2, Roman Jones, coming up big twice in a row. They list him in the roster as the Viper position. I gotta like that.
one of their kind of specialty corner positions, the Viper. So it'll be third and goal from the 20.
Yeah, if you just started watching this, they started this one first and goal at the 1, John, and now they're set up with third and long at the 20-yard line, third and goal at the 20-yard line. So they've made this real hard on themselves. Tried to set up the wide receiver screen, and Roman Jones just sniffed that thing out and wrestled him to the ground.
Back-to-back tackles for loss for Roman Jones.
Look up top. He's got single coverage if he sees it.
He did, and he's going to the end for Nawabi, but knocked down before it could get to Nawabi. That is one.
Blancato coming out on defense. You know, John, he threw that one into triple coverage, but if he had looked to the top of this, top of your screen up here to the left side, he had one-on-one. Would have been a better opportunity, I think, at the top of the screen.
So that's going to bring up 4th down.
Let's see what kind of kicking these guys got. It's going to be about a 37-yarder.
That's what it looks like.
In high school, that's a monster kick.
It's Ethan Laudato who's going to attempt this.
We've got no scouting on him. He's a senior kicker. Let's see if he's got the leg for a 37-yarder. That's a nice kick at the high school level.
Well, he's got a punting long of 41 yards, and I think he got it through.
Yes,
he did.
Sir. Well, John, it took 3 games in our Game of the Week schedule to even see a field goal attempt, and sure enough, 37-yarder. Nice kick by Ethan Laudato.
And that's going to put the Lassiter Trojans ahead 3-0 over the Kell Longhorns with 4:19 remaining in the opening frame here on SportalTV.
Yeah, we're excited to have 680 The Fan and SportsX as our sports radio partner for the football season. They broadcast a great high school football game each week. They will be live tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. from the Freedom Bowl. Next Friday, they'll bring you number 3 Grayson visiting number 10 Marietta. Heavyweight matchup for sure. You can listen live to this game on the SportsX on your radio. It's 106.3 FM or 12:30 a.m. or SportsX and 680 The Fan mobile apps. 4:19 left here. Tonight's game brought to you by SportalSpace. SportalSpace connects communities through youth sports. SportalSpace, every practice, every game. John, this wasn't the score we were expecting 8 minutes into this game.
No, it wasn't. But if you're Kell, you'll be happy to take the 3 points because they were knocking on the door, had the ball 1st and goal at the 1. And Kell will definitely take that. So the momentum switches back to the Longhorns. And we'll see what their offense can do on this possession. Penalties hurt them last time out, Brian. So they gotta stop with the penalties now and just play their type of football.
Yeah, and you know what we're hearing down from the sideline is they're really just focused on executing. They feel like they had the opportunities. They had those 2 passes to Blancato across the middle, so they were where they needed to be. They just weren't able to connect. So I think they feel like they've still got plenty of work to do here, but they can do it if they just stick to the game plan. And that's a real nice kickoff into the end zone. In high school football here in Georgia, if you're not used to seeing it, not allowed to return it once it crosses the goal line, they'll bring that one out there. Exactly. And that's a nice weapon to have when you've got a kicker that can do this, John, who can punt that, can take that kickoff and push it all the way into the end zone. You back these guys up deep, and Kell's going to have to work hard here on this drive.
4:19 remaining here on a hot, sweltery, humid day in late August here in Woodstock, Georgia. This is the type of weather we thought we were going to have last week. 89 degrees is your game time temperature. Sun is about ready to go behind those trees, so we should have our glare issues solved in a matter of moments. Conley under center for the Longhorns. Calls it, and it's a draw play. Right in the middle and stopped for practically no gain. That's Abson. And Abson was stopped by number 50, Andrew Sousa, who had 2 sacks over the season.
You know, the Longhorns are trying to spread it out and put the strain on the defense, but the line's held up very well so far for Trojans. They've been putting a lot of pressure on Conley as well, where they've been trying to roll him out and get him time, but there's been a lot of heat coming at him. It's already led to 1 holding penalty, and I think you're going to see a lot of pressure coming from this defensive front from the Trojans all night long. We got a big spread look here. You got 4 wide spread across the field.
2nd down. Now they're going to come to the near side for Abson. He spins off a tackle down at the 26. It'll be about 3rd and 4. Good tackle by number 99, Dante Gorgino.
Yeah, they went in that spread look. 2 receivers on either side. Tried to stretch the defense out, but the pursuit was there, and that'll set up about 3rd and 3 here.
3rd down and about 3. Clock is at 3:20. Ball again on that near hash. Kell Longhorns in the spread. 2 to the top, 2 at the bottom. They're on the near hash. Abson has been the main running attack, and they'll go with him on 3rd down. Bowls into the line, trying to push people back to get those yards.
We got another flag down behind the play in the vicinity, typically holding over there, John. I'm not sure it's going to make a difference because they sure didn't get anywhere near that 1st down.
Let's see who it is against and whether or not Kell will be forced either to do the play over or whether Lassiter will decline it and force a punt. Kell gets called for tripping. That's a new one. Apparently they bent over and tied one Lassiter's shoes together.
coming up on 3 minutes. I think they'll probably decline this and let them punt it from deep in their own end. You know, that this drive started here with a good kickoff. The kicker there, Lassiter, for the Trojans, was able to kick the long field goal. Now they're going to take this penalty and make them run this again.
So it'll be 3rd and 13. And Lassiter's defense, certainly the story early on.
It's actually going to be a 15-yard penalty, so 3rd and 18 from the 13. They got a long way to go out here now and really backed him up into his own end zone. Let's see if Kell tries to spread it and see if they can get an opportunity to throw this thing downfield and try to get some chunk yardage.
That would be aggravated tripping. As Conley's going to take a step, look over at his coach, Brett Sloan, and it looks like Kell's going to call a timeout with 2:44 remaining, and they're going to have a discussion on this third and long.
Yeah, the SportalTV End Zone to End Zone show previews the top high school football games each week across the state of Georgia. See highlights and fun behind-the-scenes content dropping every Thursday night now. Not Wednesday anymore, Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. SportalTV on YouTube. Brian Zorner here with John Morgo. And, John, you said it was a hot night out here, and we apologize to the rest of the folks in the booth. We had to open the windows to get a little bit of a better view, so we've let the beautiful cold air conditioning they're trying to pump out the windows. So our apologies go to everyone up here in the booth with us. We've made it a little bit hotter up here.
But, again, that should not be an issue. That sun, bright, hot, it's about ready to get behind those high treetops, probably another 5 minutes or so, and then we can get back to normal. Lowndes over Parkview, 7-6 early going. Again, that's one of the top games in the state of Georgia. We'll be updating you of other scores from around the state as we get them into our broadcast position, and you can tweet me a score at John_Morgo, JOHN_MORGO, as we get back to 3rd and 18 on the 13-yard line for the Longhorns. Conley, he's got a man to his left, calls for it, looks to the near side, looking over the middle. He's got a lot of time now, airs it out on a post route, and incomplete.
Oh, that was a good opportunity. He got behind the defense. He just sort of laid that one out there, John, and gave his receiver a chance to try to run underneath it, struggling to get the number here in the glare.
Leo Delpin, number 7.
Yeah, one of their other star receivers, a little guy, 5'8", 180 pounds, but he got out there quick. He got behind the DB. Tough throw and catch in that type of situation, but Conley got some nice air under that ball and gave his receiver a chance to run up to it and make a play, just wasn't able to haul it in. And now they're going to punt deep in their own end zone here. The punter's going to receive this one inside his end zone, drops the ball.
But he gets it back, and he just gets it off, does Conley. It's going to hit at the 40, take a Lassiter bounce, and they're going to dive on it at the 32.
Oh, that was a tough sequence. That ball didn't get to the punter. He lost the handle on it, had to pick it up, barely got it off, and then the thing bounced backwards 7 yards the other way. So that penalty that backed him up left him in a difficult situation, not able to get any kind of positive yards on that drive. And Lassiter will take over in prime position here at about the 32-yard line.
Well, that was their traditional punter, number 14, Logan Flesher.
Yeah, that was the guy I was talking about. So he's back in. He goes 6'5", 190. That is a big punter.
He averages 41 yards a punt. Didn't really get that on this one. Ball's at the 32, and Lassiter, again, has great field position with 2:19 remaining, and Trojans up by a field goal.
With what we saw with Lassiter, they may be in his field goal range, John, right now.
Empty backfield, almost a wing T formation. And Storm's going to find some room right up the middle, goes off right tackle. He'll get maybe 5 to the 27. I think they're going to mark it 4.
Yeah, they spread the field for him and let Storm really do his thing out there. And he's shown some nice running ability. We didn't have that in the scouting report as something we were going to watch out for, but they've really spread the field nicely, giving him some running lanes, and that's a nice positive yardage on first down to put him in a good, comfortable second down position.
Yeah, second down, about 6. Again, if you can get 3 or 4 yards on a first down play, that's pretty much the average. You can have good position for second and third. And
they jumped.
Yeah, we got motion.
And that's going to erase that nice run by Storm.
Pushing back 5 yards as the sun is just about behind those trees.
Yeah, that picture is going to get a little nicer, and you and I are going to stop with the sunburn in about 2 more minutes. It just peaks just a little below those trees.
And now I can actually tell some of those Kell outline numbers. I see Chad Goddard out there, number 1 for the Horns.
Blancato, number 11, patrolling out there in the safety spot, it looks like.
And Blancato at one of their two-way players.
Look at the top there. They're running over way late to find that receiver in the top. They just roll the defensive back, but they've got one-on-one on the top of the screen here if they want it. He's up in press covers there too, so if he gets beat, there's no help behind him.
Well, it's Storm with the draw. Storm's got a lot of room, 20 to the 15. 20, that's a first down for Mitchell Storm, and there's a Storm front coming, Mood Indigo. That's a gain of about 12.
Yeah, Storm's been really strong tonight running the ball between the tackles. They gave him a big hole there, really spread the defense out. The defense didn't seem to be looking for it, and they don't really look like they're spying him tonight, John. They're going to have to roll Conley over and have Conley try to, not Conley, but Blancato spy that quarterback if they're going to be able to keep with him tonight.
So Blancato's going to have to blanket. Now they'll keep it to Zakaris. And Zakaris will pick up a yard as we get to about 1:10 remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, John, I don't think we've seen anything yet out of Orgioke. Orgioke had 3 touchdowns, 180 yards, number 3 for the Trojans. No word up here on whether he's hurt or not, but I haven't seen him even on the field yet here in the first quarter.
Well, we'll look for him on the sideline, and when we get a moment, Storm has got Zakaris next to him. He fakes it on the draw, but Kell has it all sniffed out.
Oh, there were 5 white shirts all around him, John. That play was going nowhere. They were coming hard, and it was Blancato coming up from the safety position. No, that was, oh goodness, those white numbers are sure hard to read.
I think that was number 13, Branson Hall, who was there, but I noticed a late flag come in. It's a face mask.
Yep, on the Longhorns. That's going to give him a first down.
Automatic first down on that one, yeah.
That's a tough play because they really did a great job to snuff out that first down run. There were a lot of white shirts around Storm there, and they just negated that. It's going to set up, well, it looks like they're going to say 2nd and 9.
That's interesting. Must have been an incidental face mask 5 yards from the spot of it.
Oh, wow. Everybody jumped off sides for the Longhorns, and the coaches from the Trojans right next to us, they like it. Hard count down there. I'm guessing we don't have a microphone at the field level, but that was one heck of a hard count. He did a great job.
That was a great job as we could trying to see who that was who jumped.
Oh, that was at least 2 guys that went across the line there.
Looked like the one who can't get that number. So anyway, moves it across the 15 to the 13, 2nd and 3. Closing moments of the first quarter. Storm puts his foot down. Trips to the right, puts Zakaris in motion. Zakaris is going to go around the end. Let's see if that's where he's looking. No, direct snap and a rush for the first down. Did not get it.
Yeah, they've seen that now a few times, and the defense did a much better job responding that time. They put people out there on all of the wide receivers, but they stayed home, kept in their lanes, and made the play.
Isaiah Cruz, number 3, one of those players. And I think Lassiter's just going to let the first quarter wind itself down into submission. That is what the Trojans are going to do. 12 minutes are in the books here at the Stockyard, and it's the Trojans who have the early lead, 3-0 over the Kell Longhorns, but they're looking for more. We'll see if they get it here on SportalSpace TV.
Yeah, today's game brought to you by SportalSpace. SportalSpace connects communities through youth sports. SportalSpace, every practice, every game. Next week, we will be live as 2 of the top teams in the ATL battle. Langston Hughes visits number 7 in our coaches poll, Mays, for a regional rivalry battle that is loaded with Division I talent. Join us at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. start time there, Friday, September 7th. SportalTV on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss a minute of our Game of the Week schedule. We've got some great games coming up. John, after that is one that I've been looking at on our schedule the entire season. Grayson visiting Westlake will be one of the top games of the season. Grayson ranked as high as number 5 in a number of the national polls. So it should be a big one. That's going to come after Langston Hughes and Mays. Is a nice write-up. Our own Chuck Jones spent some time in the practice during the summer with Langston Hughes, and you can see a lot about that program and a couple of interviews with a number of the key players there. So we're looking forward to seeing that game next week as well.
Yes, that'll be a good one. Unfortunately, I will not be with you for that Grayson Westlake game. I have a commitment in Tampa that weekend, so hope you have a lot of fun and have a great game without me. I'll be back the following week where we'll get to see Jaden Hazelwood and the Cedar Grove Saints as they take on the Lions of Lovett. That will be a very good ball game. Looking forward to that one. But right now we got a good one right here. 3-0 Lassiter Trojans over the Kell Longhorns as the Trojans come on out for this 3rd down and 3 play.
Big play here, John. They need to get another stop and try to force a field goal attempt here.
Storm calls for it. Fake to Zakaris, goes up the middle. There's the first down, and he's bowled over at the 5.
Yeah, the defense rolled to that running back fake. He kind of faked that inside handoff to Zaharis, and kept it himself, pulled it back out of there, kind of like a run-pass option type of play, and he took off through that open space that was left when the linebackers fell for the fake. Great opportunity there.
I'm sorry, that was Micaiah Vinson, number 20 of Kell on the stop. Pick up about 9 as we hit the 8 o'clock hour in the Eastern time zone. 3-0 favor of the Lassiter Trojans. They are looking for more. They're at the first and goal. This will be Zakaris. And the ball's on the loose. Ball's on the loose. I think Kell's got it.
They
Kell,
sure do, yep.
And the Kell defense comes up strong.
Oh, what a great play. You know, it looked like he had the snap just fine, John, but he got into that hit. He took the first hit, and that ball just came popping out.
And it was Nick Ross, the Appalachian State commit, who came up with the fumble.
Yeah, that was a huge play for the defense. This Kell defense has been on their heels on their back heels the whole night, and forcing the fumble at first and goal.
But Kell's going to have a long way to go. Ball's at the 5.
Evan Conley's gotten no help on this field position. He started every drive in his own end zone. Where we go the other side over to the Trojans, they've had fantastic field position so far all night. Let's see if Conley can get this offense going.
Well, he's going to set up shop in the end zone. He's got Isaiah Cruz to his left as we're looking at them, and they'll give it to Cruz. Cruz cuts up, got past one man, trying to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. He will not make it.
Oh, he just got gobbled up, John. He ran right into the defensive tackle, and there was nothing doing there for them.
So Cruz in the backfield, taking over for Abson, who was in the first quarter, and I have him getting about 7 yards. And Kell's not having that much offensive luck. They've only had one play that got more than 10 yards. Penalties have been their bane so far in this ball game. Losing a yard back to the 4 where it's second down. Cruz moves to the other side of Conley, and they fake the pitch, and Conley's got some room. He'll get close to the first down at the 15.
That was a nice play. The defensive lineman was going right to that running back. Conley just took the ball right out of his gut, kept it himself, and he'll be right up close. It looks like he'll be just a tad short of that first down, be third and about a yard.
Yeah, got 10 yards, needed 11 because of that first down, loss of 1 as we get to 10:25 remaining until intermission.
Our man down on the sideline, Chuck Jones, telling us both of these schools have got amazing video capabilities down there. They've got their entire units that are on the sidelines around the video boards watching replay with the coaches. It's a fantastic advantage for these schools up here in Cobb.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at the Lassiter coach to my right. He's got a tablet tuned to the game, and there's a first down and a lot more for the Kell Longhorns. That's Isaiah Cruz with the carry, getting it out to the 28. Gain of 9, but a flag back in the backfield. However, it's against Lassiter, so this is going to stand.
Yeah, this is what Kell needed, John. They needed a little bit of drive, get their offense moving, try to find some confidence here. And this is exactly how they're doing it, and they're doing it right up the middle. The middle's been a tough place. You've got some big size in there at the 2 defensive tackle spots and the defensive end spot for the Trojans, but they're able to get enough of a hole, and they're hitting it hard. That Isaiah Cruz is a small guy, 5'7", 160 pounds, and he just squirted through that little hole for a nice first down, and they'll tack the penalty onto the end. It's going to move them out close to the 40-yard line.
Ball at the 43. And that Lowndes Parkview game, Parkview has gone on a tear. They're up 20-7. 3 straight scores for the Panthers of Parkview against the Lowndes Vikings. First and 10 as we get under 10 minutes to go. Ball in the near hash. Kell going left to right across your computer dial. Conley fakes, goes back, sideline route. It's complete.
That's number 8.
That's Cameron Ball.
Mm-hmm. And that was a nice play. He's using that fake well. It's freezing the linebackers, and it's giving a nice opportunity there for the Longhorns to move the ball down the field here.
Gain of 7. Bring up second down and 3. They get onto Lassiter's side of the field. First time all ball game that they're on Lassiter's side of the field. I believe there's an official timeout for some matter.
Yeah, try to see what we've got. Some SportalTV reporters out at a couple different games. Being told that Charlie Ham for Westminster, a Duke commit, nailed a 53-yard field goal. One of the top kickers in the state. Roswell up 7-0 over Centennial. 3:16 remaining in the quarter. Centennial had an interception deep in the at the end of the half, into the quarter there.
And on the third down, it's another fake. Conley with the keeper on the draw. He'll get the first down and a lot more, 9 yards to the 40.
Now they're finding opportunities up the middle of this defense, John. They weren't there earlier. They've seemed to have spread them out a little bit better, and they're finding ways to get through these holes.
Mill Creek 12, Norcross 7. That's at the end of the quarter. Here we got 9:34 and counting remaining until intermission. And for a spread offense, Kell isn't really taking advantage of that. Conley, I've got him 2 for 5.
Yeah, he had 2 good opportunities to catch Blancato over the field on post patterns, and he weren't able to connect on either of them early. We'll see if they go back to that. That's something that worked well for them against East Coweta and the Corky Kell.
Conley calls for it. He's going to pass. Looking for the near side. Throws a bullet, and it's complete to the 30.
You know, John, on that play, he didn't have to roll out. He was able to get a good pocket around him, set his feet, and step into that throw and really drive the ball to the sideline into his receiver. It was a very nice blocking up front that gave him the opportunity, and he really drove that ball. You saw a lot of pace on that thing, and that thing just went right into the receiver's belly.
It'll be, it'll be a pickup of 9. I thought it was 10, but, well, actually, it was.
Well, they're giving him the first down. They just haven't updated the scoreboard yet.
It looks like they are.
There they go.
Although it should be. I thought it was at the 40 for the first. I think this should be a 2nd and 1. I think the officials kind of made a mistake. I'll check the replay. Well, that's the first down anyway, and a lot more to the 20, to the 15, ball to the 10, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 7.
We got a penalty flag down at the 30, and Lassiter saying it's coming back, John. I think they're going to get him for an illegal block off the back of that wide receiver screen. We saw that call earlier in the game as well. Yep, sure enough, they're backing this thing up.
So a good catch and run to Cameron. Ball's coming back.
Yeah, it was the same kind of problem they ran into early. It was on the opposite side, also going to the quarterback's right. They tried to set up that wide receiver screen, and that illegal block's going to negate that nice play for the Longhorns.
Against East Coweta, Ball had 3 catches for 55 yards. He's already had 1 good catch today, and that one will go for naught, backing the Horns all the way, probably around to the 43 maybe? Nope, the 37. So it'll be a 10-yard infraction. And it'll be first down at about 16.
Tough, real hard for the offense. Conley's now got to step up and say, calm everybody down. Tell them, all right, 1st and 16 is not the end of the world. Yeah, we wanted to be inside the red zone, but they still got plenty of opportunity here. This has been a nice drive for them that started deep in their own end zone. 2
on each side. Conley's going to throw. He's flushed to the near side, winds up, throws a nice spiral looking for Ball, and it's overthrows him.
Yeah, that one he had to roll out. The pressure was coming. He didn't really get set as well as he did on that strike, the one before. And, you know, kind of let another chance for his receiver to make a play. We're seeing them test these one-on-one situations with the DBs. And, John, I think he's going to get one of them. I mean, they got enough talent out there. Conley, the App State commit, he throws a nice ball.
That was Hank Manning on the defensive coverage for the Trojans. Getting to him in a little bit. 2nd down at about 16 from the 37. Clock stopped with 8:27 remaining until halftime.
Now let's see if they try to pick a little something up on the ground here, John. They've been throwing the ball a lot. I think there's an opportunity with this spread look. There's some holes on this defensive line the way it's set up, and I think there's an opportunity to run this ball.
Well, that high snap, though, that's going to destroy the rhythm. And Conley's going to be running for his life, and he's running the wrong way. Now he rolls. He's got some room. He's got some time. He's going to throw it away. No, threw it
I think
complete.
He caught that one on the sideline.
He did.
Shades of Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, the way he made that play happen. Man, he rolled out, and the pressure was coming everywhere. Got just enough of a little bit of a rub from his offensive lineman, and he'll get back a nice chunk of those yards.
That was Blancato. Got 10 of them back.
Blancato, heads-up play on the scramble drill. He started working towards the sideline that the QB was running towards to give himself a chance to make that play. And now you got a manageable 3rd and 7. Because, John, that could have been 3rd and 20 or 3rd and 30.
Exactly, because he was going the wrong way. Evaded the rush of number 50, Sousa, again, who has 2 sacks already this season. Cruz backs up. I think they put in an extra blocker on the line because you only got 2 to the near side and 1 up top. Maybe a tight end. Tight end in motion, but now Conley's got room. He's going, he's firing, and it was too low looking for Blancato.
We got a flag behind the play anyway. It's going to be holding on the offense. Yep, holding's going to go against the offense. And, you know, given what I've seen in the kicking game of both of these guys, you may have to push him back and let him play it from back there.
Yeah, penalty against Kell with 7:22 to go.
And we got a nice crowd out here tonight. You know, quite a number of thousands of folks out here for this rivalry game. These two schools only 2.8 miles apart, and we are joined, as we always are on Friday nights, by Hot 107.9 and the Dirty Boys. They're invading the best games this season with their Friday night highlight high school football tour powered by SportalTV. For more information on schedules, teams, and highlights, visit hotspotatl.com.
Well, the penalty was declined. Another thing, I got here at about 5 o'clock, and right about then, they got their, as you would expect from a team calling themselves the Longhorns, they got their smoker out really early.
Oh, John, it smells good out here. They're burning the burgers out there and all kinds of good stuff. It's a nice smell wafted in from the barbecue.
4th down and 6. Conley, I think he wants to.
I think this is the kicker out here. I think they're going to try to punch this one in from the field goal.
Well, it looks like it.
I'm sure we've got the.
Oh, Blancado's out there to his right.
Is this number 14 there, Flesher?
He will not turn toward us.
Yeah, pretty sure that's Flesher, the kicker. And they're going to try a what will amount to a 44-yard field goal here. And I've seen his leg. He can hit this thing.
Well, he's got a good angle right in the middle. They put it down. He puts it up.
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
And he puts it through.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's a nice kick from the 44-yard line. John, he had leg to go probably closer to 50 on that one. We got 2 of the better kickers that we've seen so far here on the SportalTV Game of the Weeks.
And it's a field goal battle, surprisingly enough. Logan Flesher puts it in from 44 out. We're tied at 3 with 7:13 remaining until halftime here on SportalTV.
Yeah, John, I don't think we would have seen 2 field goals as our first 2 scores. You could have had that one in the pool and done pretty well on it, I think. But that's where we're at. 3-3 is your score. When these 2 teams met last year, it was a whole different ball game. 38-35 was your final score. If you want to see your favorite team on the End Zone Highlights Top Plays, send us your best videos via Twitter, DM, or tag @SportalSpace, and you might be on SportalTV. We had a great top 5 plays, John. I did the picking along with the editorial team, and we had a heck of a hard time. But we went with your favorite. You told me when we were doing it. It was the 98-yard kick return by Jamel Starks from Southwest DeKalb. It was a tough one for him because he also had a flipping touchdown where he nearly stuck the landing after somersaulting over 2 defenders. He had a wonderful game for the Panthers as they pulled off the upset over the Stevenson Jaguars last week. You can see that replay on the highlights on SportalTV on YouTube.
Certainly one of the more exciting plays we've had all season long. Admittedly, this is only our 10th quarter of action, and right now we got another defensive battle going on as it's tied up at 3 between the Kell Longhorns and the Lassiter Trojans here on SportalTV. I'm John Morgan alongside Brian Zwerner. The kick is a high one. It'll get down at the 5. Bringing it up, going to the far side is Nuwabi, and Nuwabi will be pushed out at the 23-24-yard line, and Lassiter will get decent field position just on that, close to the 25, but not quite.
You got to think that with the leg we saw from Logan Flesher, the kicker, he could punch that thing into the end zone. That must be a plan. Get that high kick, try to drop it in around the 1-yard line and see if you could pin him. Because I have no doubt whatsoever that if Flesher unleashes one, it's going to be no trouble for him to find the end zone.
1st and 10 for Lassiter. They put it at the 22.
Haven't seen Storm throw the ball much at all here, John. Let's see if he tries to spread this field out a little bit because they are packing him in at the line of scrimmage.
Nope, they fake the draw, and Storm goes up, gets 3 to the 25. He's only had 3 completions so far.
And the last drive ended for the Trojans with heartbreak at about the 3-yard line, a fumble on a goal-to-go situation. So they've been moving the ball well, but it doesn't show on the scoreboard tonight.
2nd and 8, gave him 2. 6:40 and counting left until halftime. Storm puts his foot down. He's got 2 on the bottom, 1 at the top. The handoff to Zakaris. Zakaris will put it across the 25, and he's down at the 28.
A nice little misdirection play there. Everyone was kind of keeping an eye on Storm. They got to respect his running ability. He's been the big threat so far, and Zakaris able to make something happen out of it. And, John, we still have not seen the running back who torched the folks at Pope or Gioki.
5 yards for Zakaris. He was stopped by number 5, Justin Talley. 3rd down and 3 on that far hash. Lassiter going right to left. Storm checks with Jep Irwin in his 9th season.
Timeout by the Trojans down there, it looks like.
All right, timeout Lassiter with 5:55 remaining until halftime. We're tied at 3 here on SportalTV.
Yeah, Hot 107.9 and the Dirty Boys will be invading the best games this season with their Friday Night Highlights High School Football Tour powered by SportalTV. For more information on schedules, teams, and highlights, visit hotspotatl.com. I went down to the tent, saw the crew from the 107.9 down there. If you're here at the stadium and listening to us, go check them out. They got the red truck and the red tent down there in the end zone closer to the visitor's side. I know they've got some swag and things they're giving out down there, so go take a look down there if you get the chance. They'll be looking in live throughout the course of the game here. John, 3-3 with 6 minutes remaining. I was not expecting that. I thought we'd get some good touchdown action tonight, and so far that's not what this game's brought us.
No, it hasn't. It's been a very tough defensive matchup. I think Lassiter's probably got the better of things, although Kell did have a big sustained drive, because remember that drive started way at their own 5.
Yeah, sure did, and that came off the back of the fumble. You know, Lassiter looked like they had a chance to really blow this game open if they could have punched it in and didn't take advantage.
Man in motion, coming to the near side. Storm's got it. He's going to roll. Now cut up field and will not get anywhere near it. So this will be a 3 and out for the Kell defense, forcing that on Lassiter.
Yeah, when the Trojans go back on offense, John, they're going to have to find some way to do something else here. The defense is packing the line of scrimmage. They're going at least 8 in the box, and they are keying in on these inside run plays. They were very effective early in the game, but Kell has adjusted, and we're going to have to see what the coaches from Lassiter do to try to change it up and try to get the ball to the outsides a bit.
Vincent Dinkins was one of the hosts of Kell Longhorns on that play, and they got white with the red stencil. Very tough to pick up the uniform numbers. That kick they call fair catch. He dropped it, and I think Lassiter jumped on it.
They sure do, John. That went right into his hands. It's getting to be kind of dusk out here. It's a little bit tough, and that one went right through his hands. It looked like 55 maybe?
58. Mason Napper comes up with it.
What a great play for great opportunity for the Trojans now to flip the field, and they'll go to work at around the 50-yard line.
Be on Kell's side of the field at the 48 as Mason Napper recovers the muff punt. Happens with 5:08 to go. And a good play for Lassiter. They get a bunch of yards on that punt. 1st and 10. Storm got trips on the near side. Fakes to Zakaris. He's going to go for it, launching over the middle, looking for Nwabi.
A lot of contact out there, John, and they let that one go. I like that play, though, because it puts the Longhorns on notice that every play is not going to be a run up the middle, and I like them trying to test down the field a little bit. But there was a lot of contact, John. We could have seen a flag there the way this game's been called so far.
That was Nick Ross in coverage, the Appalachian State commit. 2nd down. 6 seconds went off. So we get close to the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, it's become a little bit of a dangerous time for the punters with the punt receivers as the lights are just clicking on here. The sun's down.
And Storm drops the football, gets it back. He's got to try to make something happen with it.
Oh, he took a lick at the end of that one.
Got back to the original line. Great play for Storm. That could have backfired in a hurry. Instead, I think they're going to give him a positive yardage, give him a 1 yard on that.
And that's going to set up another 3rd and long here. Right around midfield for the Trojans. Let's see what they can do with it.
Storm looks like you're going to have a tight end, and among those 3 to the near side, number 12, A.J. Miller. Number 45, Evan Manning is the tight end. Zakaris split out to the top. They're cheating on the line. Here comes the blitz. Throwing. And intercepted, and this is going to go to the house.
Look out, he's gone.
It's an interception and a touchdown for the Kell Longhorns. And that play goes the other way. It's Nick Ross on the interception.
The Appalachian State commit just came up and stole the ball away from the receiver. It was a decent pocket for Storm. He threw that ball out there, and Nick Ross just overpowers the offensive player, and he goes 50 yards the other way, John, for the touchdown. Wow, what a way to flip this game.
And Kell gets back on top, 9-3 with the point after coming, with 4:06 remaining here until intermission. As Kell and Flesher get the extra point crew up.
Here comes the kick. It looked like they were showing that they were going to go for 2 there, John, but now they'll run the kicker on here to add the 1 instead of the 2 there. And it looks like some confusion. They may have to call a timeout here. The clock, I don't see where the play clock is, but they are still running bodies in here.
It's hard to tell where that play clock is.
I don't know where it's hiding.
It's probably,
Here goes the kick.
I think it's a perfect kick for Flesher. It is.
The rush was coming hard there. From where we were, it looked like he might have gotten a hand on that one, but he gets it off and puts it through, and that's 10-3 now.
10-3 favor of the Kell Longhorns. They got the momentum back. We'll see what Lassiter can do with the football after Kell kicks off in a moment here on SportalTV.
Yeah, tonight's game brought to you by SportalSpace. SportalSpace connects communities through youth sports. SportalSpace, every practice, every game. Brian's Warner here with John Morgo, just about 4 minutes remaining. And it hasn't been what we thought. We thought that there'd be a lot more spreading the field, making things happen offensively. It's been a defensive game. The only touchdown just came here at the 4:06 mark. Nick Ross steps in front of the defense, steps in front of the offensive player, makes the great defensive play, and takes it pick six to the house.
A great play for Ross, getting the interception. Again, Stephon Green had 2 picks against East Coweta 2 weeks ago.
Hearing from our man Chuck Jones down on the field, it is crazy in the student section. Tons of energy down there.
As Kell comes back out, now let's see if that gives their defense. You get the pick 6 interception, Brian, and immediately you're back on the field. So it's just whether or not you can ride the wave of momentum that comes from getting such a turning point play like that.
Yeah, and Storm has got to shake that one off and get back out on the field, get back, I guess, to what they've been doing well, which is running the ball and working it there. The pressure's right back on him with 4 minutes left to try to make something happen on the offensive side.
And the kick from Flesher. See if they go to Nwabi again. Ball is spinning. Nwabi gets it at the goal line. Coming up the middle of the field. He hesitates, does a sort of step. There's a flag.
There's another flag. 2 of them flew in there.
Yeah, we've at the 16. There's another one for good measure up at the top, just to make sure they get it in.
Yeah, this was a field position game early, and it was all going the Trojans' way, but it looks like that luck has flipped, and they'll start deep in their own end zone. It looks like it's probably going to be against them.
Probably will. 10-3. As Nick Ross brings it back. I'm sure the Appalachian State people are happy to see that particular play.
Yeah, you know, the Mitchell Storm now has got to step back out. He had the errant throw that led to the pick, and now he, as you said, he comes right back on the field here, and he's got to try to make something happen, get him a little bit of momentum here going in. The offense had moved the ball really well. It was the fumble deep in the red zone for the Trojans, and then the pick here at around midfield that's flipped this game and really given Kell the momentum rolling up towards the half. Let's see if Lassiter can wrestle it back to their side. Still taking a little bit of time to get this penalty marked off.
Kell indicating it's against Lassiter, and officials agree.
Oh, double penalties. Looks like they called it on both of them. So.
Offsetters.
See if we got some scores.
Well, we got a block in the back penalty. That was the one against Lassiter. And I think maybe the late penalty that flew in at the end, I think that's going to go against Kell. So we'll see what happens when all is said and done. Blessed Trinity 15, Woodward Academy 14. 5:39 left. Rome, no problem with North Clayton, 35-0. Rome will be here next week to play the Kell Longhorns in an early matchup that probably will decide this region.
And John, out of state, Bergen Catholic and from New Jersey beating Grayson 34-22.
Where is that? Is that at Grayson? Did Bergen Catholic?
We're listed the second on the thing, on the listing, so I'm guessing it is, but I do not know.
Okay. 1st and 10 at the 23. Again, we're going to see Grayson in a couple of weeks as they take on Westlake. Well, you are. I'm not. I'll be in Tampa. On first downs, they're not fooled on the draw.
Yeah, there was nothing doing there for Storm. Storm got hit by a pack of defenders.
And it looked like one of the main players in that pack was number 47, Kevin Rappeline. Loss of about 5 as they did offset, backs it up to the 19-yard line. So 2nd and 15.
Yeah, John, I mean, it's a tough decision here for Lassiter. Do they look to try to spread it out? That's where things have gotten a little awry for them. It's really worked best when it's been Storm running the ball. Are they going to try to feed his confidence and get him to go downfield with it a bit?
Put a man in motion to the top. That's Evan Manning, I believe. Storm rolls that way. Here comes the pressure, and down he goes.
Kell did not fall for that one. He rolled out to his right, and the blitz was coming hard out there, and they took him down inside the 10-yard line. He had no help out there. He was in a lot of trouble.
Andrew Parlato, number 76, with the sack. And Kell's going to call timeout, try to conserve some time. maybe get some time to work with when they get possession. 2:56 remaining. They got one timeout left, and they're up by 7, 10-3 over the Lassiter Trojans.
Yeah, we're excited to have 680 The Fan and SportsX as our sports radio partner for this football season. They broadcast a great high school football game each week. They'll be live tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. from the Freedom Bowl. 2 teams from Georgia. We previewed in our online preview the End Zone show. Milton and North Gwinnett, defending 7A champions, playing in that Freedom Bowl tomorrow. You can listen to that live on SportsX on your radio at 106.3 FM or 12:30 a.m. or the SportsX and 680 The Fan mobile apps. They will bring you Grayson at Marietta next week. Grayson coming off a tough loss to an out-of-state, and now they're going to get a Marietta team that can put points up in a hurry, John.
I believe there's some games from that Freedom Bowl going on tonight.
Yep, they got 2 games up there at Milton tonight and then 5 tomorrow.
Yes, and I believe Bishop Stoneham is one of those schools, the school where that shooting took place at Parkland on Valentine's Day.
Yes, sir, they are.
So 3rd and 24 at the 9. And Storm down again.
They are really teeing off on the defensive side now. I think the Longhorns smell blood, and they backed them up. They're going to call timeout, John. Preserve the time here and make them kick from deep in their own end zone.
And let's see if the kitchen sink starts coming in on this punt effort. Number 52, Justin Holt on the tackle. Kell uses their last timeout with 2:45 remaining. So Kell can't stop the clock when they get the ball back.
Yeah, and this is an interesting opportunity for Kell. I think if I'm the coaches there, I'm going to come after this thing. He's going to be, they're going to be probably a good 5 to 7 yards deep in this end zone. And that's a tough place for a high school punter to have to catch the ball and punt out of. Even if they come after it and miss, as long as they don't do anything crazy down there, they got a lot of room to work at 4th and 28.
Well, they lost 19 yards on that, on those 2 tackles. And Storm gets pushed way back to the 5.
Stick with us during halftime. We've got some great video content. We'll be breaking down the first half action, and we've got some nice highlights and things from around last week's football across the state of Georgia to share with you, and a little bit from some of the organizations that we do work with here in the city of Atlanta. We think you'll enjoy at the halftime.
That's Kyle Carlson, number 10, back to punt this away for the Trojans.
He's about 1 yard inside the end zone there, John. He's in a bad spot.
Blancato at his own at the Lassiter 40. Gets a nice snap, gets a nice kick, but it's low. Blancato catches it on the ground, which he does. He tries to grab it. He does grab it. He's got room on the sideline. Pushed out to 34.
This is a great opportunity for Conley and the Longhorns to go to work. Starting at the 34, they've got that nice safety blanket with the big kicker out there who can put it in. We just saw him hit one from north of 40, so they're almost in his range right now, John.
That was A.J. Miller who pushed Blancato out of bounds, and Kell will have good field position at the Lassiter 34. Conley and Cruz come on out.
I'd like to see them go to Blancato again. You know, they took 2 shots with him on post-type patterns, got him into single coverage, and I see it up there again. They've got single coverage across the middle of the field with the Trojans cheating up to try to stop the run and packing the box.
I believe that's Branson Hall to the left of Conley, and it is good. They fake, and there's a throw across the middle, slant route, and it's complete. I believe that's Cruz. It is.
John, I don't know how close the coaches are here for Kell, but they called the play I wanted. It was open there in the middle. Lassiter was rolling up the defense and had 8 men in the box, and it was open behind it, and that was a nice read by Conley, and he put that ball right on target.
Gain of 13. It's a first down.
Clock is rolling, about 2:20 now left. Plenty of time here. They only have, we believe, 1 timeout based on 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, Lassiter's got 2. Kell's empty.
0 for Kell.
Yeah, Lassiter's got 2. Kell's empty. Conley got room going for it all. Nice route, and it's complete.
Wow, what a great throw and catch. Put that thing right where the receiver needed it, and that's a touchdown as we just approach 2 minutes here. Conley, beautiful throw.
And the thing of it is, Kell did not need to burn those timeouts. And that is going to be, I think that's number 8. That's Cameron Ball on the completion.
Yeah, that was a really nice play. They got the one-on-one. Cameron Ball gets a good size out there. Well, not much, 5'10". He looked big out there. I don't know who was on him on the defensive side.
And they try to go for 2 on a fake, and it will not work. So with 2:03 remaining, Ball 21 yards from Conley. And Kell taking control of this game, 16-3 as Lassiter will kick off in a few moments here on SportalTV.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Today's game brought to you by SportalSpace. SportalSpace connects communities through youth sports. SportalSpace, every practice, every game. Do you know a student athlete that had to overcome challenges to play the sport they love? We want to share stories that can inspire others to dig deep and find success in sports and life. Send us your Sportal stories and let us help you share them with the world. 2 minutes to go here. John, I'm not so sure that the Trojans need to be taking a lot of chances here with 2 minutes left. They're a little bit on their heels on that last drive. They ended up at 4th and a mile. That led to the punt from the end zone, set up the opportunity, and they may need to just get into halftime and get these kids settled and see if they can find some offense in the second half.
Well, the problem is Kell is going to receive coming out of the second half. They're going to get the ball back.
Yeah, so it'll be another opportunity for Conley here. So we'll see what strategy they take here on the offensive side. 2:03 remaining in the half, and the last few drives have just not worked well for the offense. The Lassiter offense was really ground and pounding them. It was the quarterback, Mitchell Storm, was getting good gains, getting some help from Zacchaeus as well at the running back position, and it's all kind of gone wrong offensively for him since then.
And we'll see if Orgioki will see some action. Another high kick. It'll go into the end zone. Dropped in the end zone, but it doesn't matter. Once it crosses the plane, it's a touchback.
Yeah, our man on the sideline, Chuck Jones, is saying that Orgioki may not be playing at all today. Apparently he's on the sidelines, some type of issue down there, and it doesn't look like he's going to be getting in. We don't believe it all today.
Well, that puts Kell's offense at a disadvantage heading into this contest.
Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns in the game last week against Pope.
And Lassiter has won 3 straight in this series, but this might be the Longhorns' year. Everybody in the Marietta Daily Journal picked Kell in this particular contest to win. They have about 7 pickers, all high school games in their Cobb Football Friday insert. I never knew Kell was as north in Cobb County as it was. I didn't think it was up here in the Woodstock area.
Oh yeah, we're at the very edge here.
On first down, Storm on the draw, and he winds his way. Thought he was going to get caught in the backfield. Instead, he will get to the original line before going down.
Real nice adjustment for Coach Sloan and his staff, John. Early in the game, those plays were springing for Storm. Storm was able to find running lanes, and now they're really spying him, and they're keeping him contained. They've done a very nice job. He was really getting nice chunk run yards for them, 5 and 10-yard runs early in this game. And the coaching staff has really responded. The players in the field have really gave them what they need to get that play under control.
That was Quentin Buckley on the tackle. Well, Brian, I think I found the play clock, and it looks like it's not working.
Well, that'll explain it. I certainly don't see it. If it's down there, it's dark.
It's to the right of the of the main main scoreboard.
If it's on, we can't see it where it's angled here.
Right. On the end around, Zacchaeus loses 1 back to the 19.
Yeah, this Kell defense is amped up, John. You can see them. They are pursuing to the ball. There are 3-4 guys around the ball when it's going to the ground. And that has been the story here in the second quarter. The first quarter felt really it was going more Lassiter's way, but not since.
I believe Lassiter is going to try to stretch this out, make it so they don't have to punt the ball before we get into halftime, because again, Kell cannot stop the clock. So all Lassiter needs to do is make sure that the following play is over with about 25 seconds remaining, and they can kind of like sit on the punt and go in. Well, another draw, and slung down is Zacchaeus, and that is going to be a flag thrown, a very late throw, probably for unnecessary roughness, and it will be assessed against number 5 for Kell, Justin Talley.
Yeah, really unnecessary. They were just trying to run the clock out, John. When our man on the sideline, Chuck Jones, tells us that the defensive coach on the Kell side was just telling him, get out there and stay physical in these last 2 minutes. Maybe he got him a little bit too fired up because that was an unnecessary play. Lassiter looked happy to let the clock run down and let this half go into halftime. And now we'll see if they take a shot down the field or not here off the back of this penalty. 25 seconds and 2 timeouts. There's an opportunity if they want it, but maybe better just to get this one into halftime and regroup and really find the way to get the offense moving.
Well, after the East Coweta game, Coach Sloan says he wants his team to play physical, but just kind of like keep it barely legal. They know they're going to pick up penalties with the way they play, but they just want to try to tamp it down just a tiny bit.
It's an emotional team. I was on the sideline for that game, for Kell when they played East Coweta. There were a couple personal foul calls. They were a pretty emotional team down there. They got a lot of energy and excitement, and it backfired a little bit on them here. Not a much cleaner game than we had last week. We were over 20 penalties last week. We're only at about 6 or 7 here so far.
And in that East Coweta game, kids got up for breakfast at 5:30 in the morning for that ball game. And even though it was 9 a.m., you know exactly what time things are going to start so you can get your team in that routine. And when you play in these big games, oftentimes you don't know what time you're going to start, and that really messes with a team's rhythm because the coaches like to schedule things down to the second as they get their game preparations going for any contest, really.
Yeah, tough to do in that. When they've got 5 games, they usually run real behind schedule. By the time the end comes around, it's a good hour and a half late.
Exactly. We'll see if Storm takes a shot at the end zone here on first down. No, he's going to keep it. And there's a big hole for Zakaris. Actually, yes, it is Zakaris. He gets to the 49. That's going to be a first down for him. Clock will stop while they move the chains. 11 seconds remaining. And Brian,
now you're at a spot on the field, John, where I think you could take a crack at this. I think you might want to take an opportunity at the 50.
Exactly. The coaches to our right were packing up to head downstairs and get into the locker room, but I think they're going to be sticking around here.
They're going to let it go. They're going to let the clock run out.
All right,
here.
they are going to let the clock go, so that's going to get us into halftime. It's 16-3 at the break. Kell, 16 unanswered points, a field goal, an interception for a touchdown, and a throw for a touchdown. Second quarter, all Longhorns.
Yeah, this was 3-0 at the end of the first, and it's been completely flipped. A 16-point run here by the Longhorns, and they've really taken the momentum into the halftime. We've got some nice halftime programming. We're going to roll that, give ourselves a little bit of a break here. We're going to key up a little bit here. Let's see. Last week we were live as Southwest DeKalb and Stevenson battled in an overtime duel. Southwest DeKalb had not beaten Stevenson since 2004, and they gutted out a 21-14 overtime victory. Joseph, let's roll the highlights.
It's a low one and goes through his legs. He's got to quickly get it off, but there's room now. 45, 50, that's a first down. And Puff's on the bounce recovery. Wow, almost a bottle there. White close, he's hit hard, and that is intercepted. Coming to the near side for Stevenson. Their first pickoff of the season. Tiptoeing down the sideline, stepped out. No, he didn't. And that is going to be a touchdown. Kamar Wilcoxon. Play it rolled up. Southwest should recover that. And on the draw, no, they do a little reverse drive. Scott weaves his way and he's breaking it open. Scott, 1 man or 2 men to beat, caught from behind. There's room, no, he got closed out. They take a turn to the 5. And what a somersault into the end zone. Shotgun, but instead blown off. Yeah, he kept it to himself, did not hand it off. Now, Jackson, jump with the screen, and after a fake, brought down hard. Second half kickoff. They're top inside, and the 2 right to now start. Up the middle of the field, there's room. 20, 30, 40, 1 man to beat. Gotta beware of a penalty. Gets around him, and that's a 98-yard touchdown for Jamel Starks. What a play! Great individual effort. And playing bumper cars in the backfield. Finally, it's Devon Goff, and we're going to have a bunch of penalties. Jackson.
It's going to be short.
Yeah, I think
it's going to be short, John.
Short by a yard. It's a turnover on downs. I think Stoudemire went early. Stoudemire intercepted by that man number 21 of almost my game. But instead it's a draw to Goff. Goff stays on his feet to the 20, to the 10, and Goff will be pushed.
It's going to be out of bounds at the 1.
And you are creating
And again,
at every
that was a
moment.
different result.
Because you see, it starts now.
I think he's in. He
It
is.
didn't begin in the past. Things are not explained by the
But
past.
we have no choice. Jackson
They're explained by what happens
now.
now. And it begins here.
They get Bonner to go in the middle. Instead, it's a safety route. And bobbled and intercepted. Number 7, Trey Wilson.
You are
And
creating
Wilson goes to the 35. We got a flag now back to 44. Wilson down at the 15.
at every moment. It begins here.
Right to the pie. Going in the end zone. And it's caught. Touchdown. Done anything. Jackson. That's right. No, he doesn't. He's going down. He goes down hard. Woo, and that's the ball game. Southwest DeKalb does it. They knock off the Stevenson Jaguars. 21-14 in a battle to the finish.
That was an amazing game down there as Southwest DeKalb pulled off the upset over Stevenson 21-14 in overtime. You can watch that game replay on SportalTV under game broadcast. Now, our reporters and camera people were out at some of the hottest games in ATL last week. If you catch a play on camera that you think should be included in our next week's top plays, DM us or tag us on Twitter or Instagram, and you could see your favorite team in our top plays. Joseph, let's roll that top plays from week number 1 here.
Our number 5 play of the week comes from Walton quarterback Austin Kirksey. We saw him last week faking the handoff up the middle, finding room, and gets in for the go-ahead touchdown late in the game. Alpharetta running back Kevin Watkins up the middle, shakes one tackler, shakes another, and coasts into the end zone for the Raiders. Southwest DeKalb running back Jamel Starks heading for the pylon, flipping over 2 defenders, and in for the score. Let's see it one more time. Up and over. That's 6. Back to Collins Hill, Walton, 4th quarter action. It's 4th down. The Eagles need one. They're going to fake the handoff. It's a naked bootleg to the corner, untouched into the end zone for the Eagles. Back to our SportalTV game of the week, and Southwest DeKalb taking on Stevenson. Jamel Starks, we heard Kyle talk about what a stud he was earlier. Fields this on the 2-yard line, just needs a little bit of room. Has the kicker to beat, got a blocker in front of him, and Starks is gonna house this one 98 yards as Southwest DeKalb knocks off Stevenson for the first time since 2004, thanks in part to Mr. Starks.
That was our top plays of the week. If you catch a play on camera you think should be in our next week's top plays, DM us, tag us on Twitter or Instagram, and you could see your favorite teams in our top 5 plays of the week. We are proud here at Sportal to have Anthony Flynn, CEO of the 100 Black Men of Atlanta, on our advisory board for the company. The 100 is doing fantastic work with African American youth in Metro Atlanta. Take a look at this video and learn more about the impact they are having across the city.
I'm often asked why mentorship is so important. To keep it 100, I understand how important it is to bridge the gap. What's the gap? Okay, imagine a football field. And on that field, the end zone represents success and opportunity. Now, imagine a few young people all standing at the 50-yard line. Everybody has the same fair distance to opportunity and success, right? Okay, what if we ask each student who owns a computer to step forward? Or we ask each student whose parent has a college degree to step forward. Anyone have an internship? Access to a tutor? You see a difference? You see the gap? Everybody doesn't get the same start. Let me tell you about our program. Beginning in middle school, our program takes those students at the back of the line and provides them with the tools and mentorship to move closer to the front. Let's continue to close that gap. Let's continue to invest in our future, and let's continue to keep it 100.
Hope you enjoyed that look at the 100 Black Men of Atlanta doing great work across the metro Atlanta area. We are proud to have Anthony Flynn, the CEO of the 100, on our advisory board here at Sportal. We proudly support that organization and all the wonderful things they do for African-American youth across metro Atlanta. We are also excited to participate in events with the Gwinnett Sports Commission. The Gwinnett Sports Commission mission is to foster economic development through coordinating and developing Gwinnett's role as the leading site for sports events involving youth, collegiate, amateur, and professional organizations. Check out this great video highlighting their work in the community.
A thriving community. A family community.
What a game!
Welcome to Gwinnett. Get in the game.
And we are back. That was the Gwinnett Sports Commission. Hope you had enjoyed that look at them. I'll give you a couple of scores. We've got the Sportal News reporter team is out at a couple of other games tonight over in Roswell, Centennial, Roswell. Hornets up 21-0 on Centennial. We've got someone out at St. Pius and Westminster. Westminster, one of the surprise stories early in 3A. They are down 7-3. They had big wins earlier this season against Woodward and GAC. So Westminster, a real surprise team, climbing up the Sportal poll. John, you got any other scores from around the state to report?
Looking around the state, I saw Mill Creek increase their lead over Norcross. Norcross just took the lead on Mill Creek, 21-19. That's at the half. Marist playing up in Chattanooga. They're playing the Baylor School. They got a 19-7 lead. That's also at the half. As we check again other scores throughout the state of Georgia, again here at 16-3, favor of the Kell Longhorns, as Kell kind of got it done all sorts of different ways in that second quarter there. That nice long field goal by Flesher, and then Nick Ross, the Appalachian State commit, picked off a pass, went 53 yards, made it 10-3. And then the other Appalachian State commit, Evan Conley, found Cameron Ball from 21 yards out. The run failed. It's 16-7. But looking over other scores throughout the state, Marietta was 0-2, but they got a 21-7 lead on Collins Hill. An interesting Cobb-Gwinnett matchup. That's in the second quarter. Roswell shutting out Centennial, 21-0. We'll see the Centennial Knights a little later in the season. Colquitt County with a safety over Thomasville, 2-0. Kennesaw Mountain 14, Riverwood 7. That's in the second. Bergen Catholic, well, we got a final, that Bergen Catholic Grayson game that was at Buford High, 34-22. Favor of Bergen Catholic over the Grayson Rams. South Forsyth 23, Etowah 7. Parkview increased their lead over Lowndes 26-7. Milton over Cardinal Gibbons 20-7. That's part of that Freedom Bowl. West Forsyth is hosting Hewitt-Tressville of Alabama, and right now Hewitt-Tressville with a 17-14 lead at the half. Shiloh over Wheeler 7-3. That's also at the half. Alpharetta losing to Lanier 9-0. We'll see the Alpharetta Raiders a little bit later this year. Sequoia 40, Osborne nothing. Sequoia, another team we'll see, then they have no problem with Osborne. Osborne playing a region schedule for the first time since the early part of this decade. They've been strictly a non-region as they've been trying to build their program up, so they're getting back into a region foe, but it's gonna take a while for the Osborne Cardinals to be competitive in such a tough region at the top of the Georgia High School Association. Harrison 28, River Ridge 10. That's in the second. South Cobb 19, Sprayberry 14. We'll see Sprayberry against Sequoia a little later on.
Allatoona, Creekview up 21-3. We've got Allatoona later. Tucker up 22-0 over Forest Park. Tucker will be on Sportal TV Game of the Week as well.
Yeah, they'll be playing Stevenson in our last week of the regular season.
Yeah, big matchup game there. So let's see. Walton Pope looks like 14-0 Walton. Is that halftime yet, John?
It is halftime. Arabia Mountain 7, ML King 0. That's in the first quarter. That's over at Halford. Dunwoody 14, Chambly 7 in the first quarter. Jonesboro 16, Woodland of Stockbridge 7. That's also in the second quarter. New Hampstead is playing Bowles High of Jacksonville. No score in that one. Whitewater 10, Ola 7. That's in the second. Buford hosting Deerfield Beach. That's the second part of that doubleheader. First game was the Mount Bergen and Grayson, so they got the nightcap going. No score in this one. Rome, no problem with North Clayton, 35-0 in that one. Denmark, they won their first game last week. Now they're up on North Springs, 19-7.
pause on that Rome one for a second. You said Rome's coming up here next week for a match up here in Cobb County. So Rome has been cruising early. I know that score against Marietta ended up looking pretty close, but they were up big in the Corky Kell in the open weekend there against Marietta, and they look primed to repeat, getting all the first place votes from the coaches across the state in the Sportal News Coaches Poll. If you haven't seen that Sportal News Coaches Poll, only head coaches in the state of Georgia can vote, only in their own classification. So we believe that's the way to get the best ideas on the top teams around the state. You can see that on Sportal News on our website. If you haven't had a chance to check out Sportal News on our website, we have the latest stories on fall sports across Atlanta. Our reporters are at football games and also volleyball, softball almost every night of the week. Subscribe to our newsletter to get the top stories right to your inbox each week.
As the bands are still performing out there, I believe this is the Kell Longhorn band. We had the Lassiter band a little earlier, and I think they've given way.
Yeah, we're sorry we don't want to roll the audio on these bands, but they are doing a great job trying to stay away from copyright infringement here on the with the YouTube police. So we're going to talk over it, but I can assure you they're doing a fantastic job. The crowd is not leaving their seats, John. There's a few thousand people here on the home side. Every one of them is still in their seats watching this halftime show from both these bands going, nearly 100 strong, it seems like, on both sides.
Exactly. We've got, a good crowd in this community. Again, these schools only about 3 miles apart. Kell actually was created from Lassiter. So this is kind of like a rivalry. I mean, I talked to Coach Sloan before during the week. He said they have a lot of respect for Coach Irwin's program. They're right next door, and they consider it kind of a very big rivalry between these two. And it was kind of interesting when I talked to Coach Irwin, and I asked him the exact same question. He kind of soft pedaled it a little bit. Didn't really consider that much of a rivalry. He basically told me that every school in East Cobb is our rival, maybe more so with Kell because of the proximity and the fact that they split, but he was just kind of going out of his way to downplay what these schools share.
They don't play in the same classification. You know, Lassiter playing in the largest classification here in Georgia in 7A, Kell playing in 5A. Very big difference, we were told, here in the student body size, nearly 50% bigger over at Lassiter. So even though these schools are, a stone's throw away, 2.8 miles away from each other, there's a lot of population of schools around here, and neither of them, while they play each other in non-region games, these won't count against the regional standings or the playoffs for these guys.
Again, Lassiter will have 2 more games after this one before they start region playoff. I also asked Coach Irwin what he wanted to see improvement-wise as we get close to the region, and he said, well, he wanted to pass the ball more, limited big plays on defense, punting, and making place kicks. And Brian, I can say that maybe he's got 2 of those.
Yeah,
and it's the last 2.
Yeah, that's the 16-3 deficit. They have not looked good throwing the ball down the field. Early in the game, they were doing a good job of spreading the defense out and finding lanes for Storm to keep the ball, and that was working for them. The Kell defense really did a great job. Really credit to Coach Sloan and his staff. They did a great job of responding, moving their players into the right position, and selling out to stop those inside runs that were hurting them so much early in the game. And it left Lassiter with trouble. They had the fumble down in the red zone, and then the interception, the pick six that was taken back by Nick Ross, the App State commit. Fantastic play, got himself the corner, and he was gone. Beautiful play by Nick Ross.
Exactly. Found a lot of room and was able to take it. And pretty great play, and that's probably going to be one of our top 5 plays of the week. And those plays will be debuted next week on SportalTV, so you're going to want to check that out here.
Yeah, if you think you've got a top play, if you're watching us from home and you know about a play from a game you watched or participated in, or you've got it, you want to get that into our top plays of the week, that opportunity is there. These top plays will be out there every single week. You just need to hit us on Twitter DM or tag at SportalSpace, and you might be on SportalTV.
Well, we got about 6 more minutes or so until we get ready for the third quarter. Again, Kell and Lassiter. Kell, again, with those numbers. They didn't consult us before they put those jerseys on. White with the red stencil. Very hard to pick up those numbers, but we're doing the best job that we can. Again, John Morgo, Brian Zwerner here on our SportalTV Game of the Week. This week taking us into North Cobb County here at the Kell Longhorns, the Stockyard. One of the more, I guess you can call it imaginative names for a high school stadium here is now the.
Yeah. When you look over, John, to the Lassiter, they call it the Frank. So.
Well, that's because it's named for Frank Furman.
Yes, sir. Of course it is.
And Kell, of course, named for Carlton J. Kell, of course, as he's more commonly known as Corky Kell. And Lassiter is named for Lehman Lassiter, a member of the Cobb School Board. So that's where both schools get their names.
Halftime here, our man on the sideline, Chuck Jones, has come up. He's trying to get the inside scoop for us, John, but he said these coaches are tight-lipped. They don't want anything going out on air that might reveal their game plan for the second half, and I haven't met these guys during the week. I'm not surprised. These guys run practices much like a college football program around here. A lot of respect for the way the coaching staffs are run and organizing these teams, the way they get their boys ready out there. Real strong programs at both Lassiter and Kell. Very well coached. A lot of guys on this coaching staff contributing. But we're not going to get any inside scoop on how Lassiter's going to try to free this offense up. We're just going to have to watch it unfold like the rest of you at home watching us here on SportalTV.
Should be a very interesting second half. We'll see what type of adjustments that Lassiter and Coach Irwin has made to try to really just open up the offense a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to have to find a way to get Mitchell Storm throwing the ball. These run opportunities just don't feel like they're there, and I don't think they can stick with that if they're going to put points on the board here. Kell is selling out against the run. They're bringing 8 guys in the box, and it's really changed the momentum in the second quarter. And as I look over to the Kell side on the offense, I've been very impressed with the way that Evan Conley is dealing the ball around. He uses a number of different receivers. And early in the game, John, there were 2 opportunities on slant patterns posts into Sam Blancato with their speedy wide receiver, slot man. And he had 2 really nice chances. There were good balls thrown to him. He had gotten behind the defense. And I'd like to see him go back to it again. I think that play could work for them here in the second half.
Well, looking over the numbers, I got Zakaris with 18 yards rushing, and there's a lot of positive yards and a lot of negative yards kind of tossed in there, so they kind of even out. I've got Mitchell Storm with 21 yards rushing. Storm 3 for 6, 1 interception for 30 yards. He's got 1 catch to Lyle for 11, 2 catches to Nawabi for 19 yards. 1 went for 23, the other went for -4. His counterpart, Evan Conley, he's 6 for 10 with a touchdown, 72 yards through the air. Blancato, 2 catches for 21 yards. Ball, 2 catches for 28 yards and a touchdown. Paris has a catch for 10 yards, and Cruz with a catch for 13. So all of his receivers doing pretty well rushing-wise. Well, they're not really, maybe 39 yards rushing. Paris with 6, Abson with 7, Conley 21, Cruz with 7. So those are your numbers in this one, as indeed they finished the 20 and then put 3 more on the clock. I don't know why they just don't put 23 minutes on the clock. That would seem to make most sense.
20-minute halftime and a 3-minute extra warm-up, which tends to be the norm here across Georgia.
Yeah, that's right.
No, they've got a few more minutes to get loose. The Lassiter Trojans, hiding over there in the end zone and just kind of doing their thing, getting ready. Coaching staff's back up here, so is the coaching staff from Kell. A lot of bodies on both these squads. You got big teams, you got big junior programs. Heard a little bit about the junior programs at Lassiter and Kell. A lot of kids playing across those 2 different programs, given how close these 2 these 2 schools are to each other. So nice to see that, and I'm sure when they get to this high school level, these kids have known each other from Pee Wee ball all the way on up. There's got to be a lot of familiarity out there, and we've seen a little bit of that in player interactions on the field. Been a pretty clean game compared to last week. Last week we had a ton of flags, but about 6 so far thrown tonight. But Kell, I was wondering to see how they'd contain the emotion. They were a very emotional team, both positive and negative in that Corky Kell game against East Coweta. Worked out for them in the end. They pulled out the victory, but they've stayed under control here. It's been a pretty clean game so far, John.
Yeah, I can't argue with what we've seen here today in terms of the officiating, in terms of the flags that have been thrown. So we're getting close to the second half of action between these 2 squads. Here on SportalTV, John Morgan alongside Brian Zwerner, ready to finish up our 3rd ball game of the season. And Brian, we've had 3 really close matchups. We've been lucky we haven't had a real runaway, although Kell might, depending on what they do here in this first possession, they might try to get the knockout punch delivered right early here in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, you can look back on SportalTV on our game broadcast of the highlights. Our first game of the week was best Academy taking on Kip Atlanta. That game wasn't decided until an onside kick was recovered with less than 10 seconds left by Best. They pulled out the 12-8 gutty win after Kip scored a touchdown to give themselves a chance at the end of that one. And then last week we had a fantastic matchup. Southwest DeKalb and Stevenson, they battled back and forth. Southwest DeKalb scored 2 touchdowns. The second one, a 98-yard kick return by Jamal Starks. And then Stevenson answered back with 14 points of their own, and it was a touchdown by Ryan White into the back of the end zone, passing the ball for the victory, capped off by a sack. 21-14 was your final in that one. You can see the full game replay and the highlights for both of those games on SportalTV. Keep an eye out for this one. It'll be up there soon. You hope you're enjoying this this watch here. Just a few more seconds. And, John, as you said, Kell's going to start out on the offensive side of the ball. Big opportunity for them to really pad this thing 16-3. And if they can manage to get a drive going, get Evan Conley working these receivers, then it's going to be a real good opportunity for them to make something happen.
Exactly. You know, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I was talking with both head coaches during the season, and I asked Coach Irwin to kind of describe, Coach Sloan, to describe, how how Evan Conley has been developed over this offseason. And he told me that he's done a lot better scrambling with the football.
Yeah, they've had him on the move. You know, with, the one time he got a really nice clean pocket, he was able to set his feet and push that thing down the field, and it was a nice completion on a slant play. So, you know, they've had him on the move most of the night. The Trojans go big and strong up front with their defensive line, and they've been bringing the pressure, but Conley's been up to the task, and he's found opportunities, and he's been able to make completions out of it.
Yeah, it's the important thing with Conley is to watch where his eyes are. Earlier, when he's watching the pocket, he dropped his eyes when he was rolling out. But now he's keeping his eyes open, and his eyes up, and he's able to see players further down the field. And he has shown a very nice touch here today.
They had a nice scramble drill. Blancato went with him to the sideline. They got a nice completion, made something out of nothing, and then they scored shortly thereafter. So Conley's played a real nice game, the App State commit.
And Nick Ross, the other App State commit, playing well as well. Kick will go into the end zone, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 25 for the Kell Longhorns.
Yeah, tonight's game brought to you by SportalSpace. SportalSpace connects communities through youth sports. SportalSpace, every practice, every game. SportalTV YouTube channel has the best live broadcast highlights and features on high school sports. Subscribe now. Hit that subscribe button. If you go back and look at the end zone show, our man Kyle Sandy would say slap that subscribe button. He got a nice slap at the end of the end zone show to close her down. We will be live here with the action at the start of the second half as the Longhorns in white go to work.
Well, it looks like we're going to have a new running back next to Conley. I see it, number 21, Ebony Jackson. And you know what? We didn't see Jackson at all. We didn't see Orgioki. We haven't seen Ebony Jackson, who had a great game against East Coweta. We'll see him on first down to about the 22-23 going off the right side. And I think that might have been a planned call for Coach Sloan. You know, on a hot, humid day, get your stud in the second half when he's fresh, and the rest of the squad might not be.
We were told that he is a burner. He was the state champ in the 100 and 200 for the Kell Longhorns in track last spring. So let's see if he can get going and make something happen.
128 yards against East Coweta and a touchdown. They dial him again on. No, they fake, and it's going to be Conley. He's upended at the 25 after a pickup of 3.
Yeah, that was a quality fake. Pushed that ball around there, and it looked pretty good.
Tackle as he was upended by number 36, Owen Fritz. Their leading tackler has got 19 through 2 games. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Substitutions out there. Our man on the scene, Chuck Jones, telling us he talked with number 13, Branson Hall, from Kell's mother. She says she's super excited about the game so far for her son here. He's been playing football since he was 5 years old and has some interest from a couple of Big 5 schools, so Power 5 schools. So we'll see how Branson Hall finishes this game.
Gain 4, 3rd and 4, and it will be Jackson. He bumps off the line trying to get to the near side, but Lassiter has none of it.
Big play by number 36 there. That's Owen Fritz. He came up in pursuit, and he laid him out.
Yeah, he had that tackle earlier in this drive, drops him back to the original line at the 30, loss of 1, so it'll be 4th down, and Kell probably should kick this one away.
And that's a win for the defense for sure. I mean, they needed this, John. They could not see Kell come out on this field and chunk their way down for another score. Now Lassiter's got a chance. They should end up with pretty good field position here.
Well, they're still respecting the fake. This might be Conley just doing a pooch kick like he did earlier in the ball game. Takes a step up. He does. The problem is when you kick like that, Brian, you have to kick it kind of straight up. It's the only way to get the angle.
Yeah, and they'll start. Lassiter will start here at about the 43-yard line right in front of us here in the booth. And this is a gut check time here, John. These guys have got to find something. And if it's me, I'm not going with what I went with in the first half. It's not going to be Mitchell Storm up the middle. They're going to have to find a way to get something to the edge, maybe some quick screen passes, something to get his confidence going, some short slants, or some way for him to get the offense moving without taking too much of a risk here, because they've got to get the ball to the outside. Kell is selling out to stop that inside run. There's one-on-one press coverage on both sides. Not a lot of luck by the safety against that. And if they can get an opportunity for these wide receivers, it's there.
Well, it's going to be, well, I think this is Orijoke. I think he's in. He's next to Storm on the right. They fake instead of it's an outlet screen pass to number 35, trying to make that corner to the far side to the 45 to the 47. That's Xavier Paris. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. That's not Xavier Paris. That's number 35, Jonathan Lyle.
Yeah, I like that call, John. It gets them moving, gets the offense moving, gives them a nice, safe pass, something you feel very comfortable completing. And, you know, you get some positive yards out of that. It's not a big play, but it gets the ball to the outside. And these are the kind of plays that are going to soften up the middle of the defense for Kell, which is what these guys in the Trojans have got to be hoping for.
So second down and about 7. Split 2 to the near side, 1 up top. And this is Orgioki, and he will lose 1 back to the 45.
So it's his first run of the night here in the second half after having such a huge game against Pope. We heard there may have been some issues on the sideline that led to him being held out in the first half. Didn't get all the details on that. But he is in now, as is the running back for Kell, who was also held out in the first half.
I think Chuck Jones might have been fed a little misinformation here by the coaching staff.
We were told he was being held out. We didn't know how long, if it was the whole game or part of it, but apparently it was the whole first half.
Probably the same philosophy that Coach Sloan used with Ebony Jackson on a hot, humid night. Get him in the second half when he's fresh. Or they're going to split Orgioki out to the near side in the by the sideline. Let's see if he's going that way. Here comes the rush. Flag is down. Storm will get back, losing 2.
I don't think Orgioki got set, John, before that snap. I think they're going to call that an illegal motion penalty. That's where that ball was. That flag was flown in that area. It looked like he never got set before the snap.
Taking a look at Rashad Lewis, wearing the right hat.
Yeah, sure enough, that's the call. He was still in motion, John. He never got to his spot, and that snap came. We can't see the play clock. I'm not sure where it is. I guess it's being held by the officials on the field.
Well, they're going to lose 2, but the penalty will be declined. Bring up 4th down. So Lassiter, well, looks like they're going to go for it here in this situation.
Gutsy call here. I think. Look,
he's going to go back and pooch this. As I believe what's going to happen. Mitch Storm is going to pooch this, and he does. This is a good one, a line drive, but it might be a little too quick. Set up a return, coming to the near side, trying to make that corner. Does make the corner, but now there's running out of real estate, and Blancado will jog out of bounds at the 39.
Yeah, the players on the field wanted an illegal block down there right around the place where he caught it at about the 30. Didn't get that call. And Blancado makes something out of nothing. That was a dangerous sort of kick, John. That was a line drive. If he doesn't field that one cleanly, that could get ugly fast.
And he did for a little bit because he was trying to get to that sideline. Got around one man who was going to try to make the tackle, but just ran out of real estate on the sideline.
Yeah, let's see if they feed Ebony Jackson. He hasn't been in there. This guy's strong. He's fast. He's rested. Everybody else has got to be a little bit tired. It's been a hot, humid night out here. A lot of emotion on both sides. Let's see if they feed Jackson, number 21 here.
2 up top, 1 at the near side. Jackson behind Conley. Sure enough, that's where they go. Coming to the near side and tripped up at the, they didn't go, it is Jackson. Goes to about the 40. Gets a yard, maybe 2.
Yeah, they list Jackson at 6'1", 205. That is a big running back in high school football. And a load to bring down and a nice tackle to get him out around the sideline there, and that'll set up second and about 6.
Well, they gave him a little more than I thought they were going to do. Thought it was about a pickup of 2, turns into a pickup of 4. 8:18 left in the third quarter. Kell with a 16-3 lead over the Lassiter Trojans. Conley again in the shotgun. Jackson behind him. Jackson moves to his right. 2 at the bottom, 1 up top. Sideline route. It's Cameron Ball to the 50, and he's down at the 46, but that is enough for a first down.
Yeah, it's a nice play. They've thrown that wide receiver screen a few times. They've got a little bit of a dangerous blocking in front of that one. It's going to go one way or the other. They're going to get the first down or they're going to get the penalty call against them, but that one worked out just fine. They were able to hold the blocks, and that looked like that was Del Pino, I think, number 7.
I think
Delpin.
Was it Del Pino? I thought 7.
Delpin?
Yeah, you're right. It is Delpin. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So
Tough with these white numbers, so we'll do our best up here. But they got the white numbers. It's a cool look for the Kell Longhorns. We've seen the Texas Longhorns with this look.
first down, lot of room. Conley trying to swing pass over to Jackson. Jackson gets ahead of steam. We got a flag down at the line.
Yeah, there got to be another hold. It's going to come back.
But a great tackle in the secondary by that man, Owen Fritz.
It can't be a nice thing to see Ebony Jackson with a head of steam like that, John. They swung that thing out to him. He was going full speed. He goes 6'1", over 200 pounds of muscle out there, fast and strong. And that was a nice play to get him to the ground, but it doesn't make a difference coming back to the hold.
Exactly. Owen Fritz, their leading tackler, has several good ones, and he just kind of wrapped up Jackson and brought him down. But again, it will come back. Puts it back across the 50 to the 45. With 7:45 left in the third.
You know, John, I was looking at the alignment out there for the offense and the defense the last couple of plays, and I see that same thing I saw in the first half. There are one-on-one opportunities. The safeties are all in the middle of the field, and if they want to take a chance downfield here, whether it's Blancato, whether it's Delpin, it's there. They're in press coverage. This is a dangerous way to go. They're really putting a lot of pressure on the defense.
First down, draw play on the fake. Conley's got some room. He gets the penalty yards back and a little bit more.
I think he got a little bit of a help on the defensive side for the referee. He was kind of stuck in the middle there and kind of got in Conley's way a little bit. But a nice little run to get back those yards.
Pickup of 11 brings up a second down and 9. Ball rests right on the 45.
And this is the place I liked him taking a shot down the field. It's 2nd and 9. It's a little bit more manageable, John, and they're right inside that 50-yard line. This is where you might see them try to go over the top here, either to Blancato in the slot or try something a little deeper out to the outside to number 7, Delpin here. Both on the right, no safety help.
There's only one safety there. That's Tyler Hallam, number 16. Instead, it's Jackson. And Jackson gets out of some trouble, but again, he's running out of real estate. Definitely does get upside and takes out an assistant coach and almost a ball boy over there as he gets thrown out of bounds.
Oh, the crowd over here, John. They wanted a late hit out of bounds. It's really hard for us to see the edge of the sideline with all the players in the way, but there was a lot of hollering for the flag. They did not get that flag thrown, and they mark them all the way back at about 3rd and 7, looks like.
Looks like they gave him 3 yards to the 40, maybe 3 yards to the 43.
And he worked really hard for that, and it looked like if he was out of bounds back there, he sure as heck got hit out of bounds. Well out of bounds 3 yards forward when the contact really came, but he is a load. He's coming hard and fast to these sidelines.
Ball at the 42, 3rd down and 7. 3 to the top, 1 at the bottom. 3-man front for Lassiter. They're not cheating a safety. And they throw it over the middle. It's through the hands of Sam Blancato.
Oh, he had room. He had turned around. That doesn't look like Blancato can't catch the number there.
Well, I thought I saw 2. I thought I saw 1.
But yeah, he had that ball, man. He had plenty of room if he'd turned.
Oh, that was
easily.
Cameron. I'm sorry, Brian. That was Cameron Ball.
Yeah, he had a great opportunity if he had held on to that. I think he was either worried about the hit coming or thinking about the yardage he was going to get after that catch. 4th and 7 here. I think they'll probably have Conley just pooch this thing down, try to pin him back with the 16-3 lead here.
6:26 and counting. I believe that's what's going to happen. They're overloading the near line. Sure enough, Conley, but he gets all of it, trying to pin them back, and it's going to take a bounce into the end zone. Can't get there to down it at the goal line. So Lassiter will get it back at their own 25 when we return here with 6:17 remaining. 16-3. Kell Longhorns here on SportalTV.
Yeah, Hot 107.9 and the Dirty Boys are invading the best games this season with the Friday Night Highlights High School Football Tour powered by SportalTV. For more information on schedule, teams, and highlights, visit hotspotatl.com. We've seen the team down there. They're out with us every Friday night. We will be live next week, John. We've got a great matchup coming from the Atlanta Public Schools Stadium down there. Langston Hughes visiting number 7 ranked Mays in a region rivalry.
That'll be the second game of a doubleheader. Last time we had the first game, this time we're going to have the second game. Our visit from Lakewood. On first down, Orgioki will get back to the line. This north-south running attack for Lassiter hasn't worked the last couple of possessions, really since the first quarter.
And I like the way they went to work on first down in the last drive, John. They threw that little swing pass to the wide receiver, got him in movement, got him out in space, and I think that's how they're going to have to try to test this defense. I'd like to see them go back to something like that, maybe some wide receiver screens or some quick slants, something to give Storm a little bit of confidence that he can get the ball down the field a little bit.
2nd and 10, 5:45 and counting here in the third quarter. Puts a man in motion. Now spinning back. Let's see, they're going out there. Here comes the rush.
Oh, boy, he goes down hard.
There was 3 white jerseys came untouched through the line.
That was a big sack. They were trying to set something up, some type of a screenplay or something, and Kell just came hard at him and just blew that play up.
Wow, that was just a great play, and it's going to be a loss of 11. Back to the 9.
And now we're in third and very long, 3rd and 21 here, backed up into their own end zone. This is not where Storm wants to go to work.
Storm, an obvious passing down, said he's going to try to come to Orgioki. Orgioki slips on the turf, stays upright, but can only get 2 because of that.
You know, when we talked to Coach Sloan, the strength of this team this season was supposed to be the defense, returning 8 starters from last year's team. They went 5-3 in the region, and led by Nick Ross, the App State commit. We've already seen, John, what that guy can do. Beautiful pick 6, takes it back over 50 yards for the touchdown. And this defense has just tightened everything up. They've only given up 3 points on a long field goal, and they look great out there. And they're going to get this ball inside the 50.
Well, maybe even inside the 40. That's Blancato at the Lassiter 41. 4:20 and counting. Low snap, gets it away, end over end. Should take a good Lassiter bounce, but Blancato gets it on the run, gets it to the 40. Ball squirts free, but this time Kell gets it back.
Number 1, maybe, looked like?
I think that was
Chad Goddard?
Yeah, Chad Goddard.
Oh, you know, I was just about to say when he picked that one up that it was a risky idea. There was no need to pick that thing up. That thing was going down to the ground. Blancato tried to make something happen and really overstepped there. They're going to start inside the 39, not going to pay the price for that one. That's the kind of break that Lassiter may need. Just not able to get on top of that one. Didn't get the lucky bounce.
Well, if you remember, Brian, Lassiter did recover a muff punt back in the second quarter, Mason Napper, but they were just unable to do anything with it because of this Kell defense.
Yeah, defense has been swarming and getting into the backfield, and nothing's been working so far yet here for the Trojans.
So Conley with Ebony Jackson behind him, 2 up top, 1 at the bottom. Jackson up the middle to the 35.
And this is what I want to see these guys from Kell doing, John. I want to see him smashing the ball. Lassiter's been on their heels. This defense has been on the field way too much here. It is a hot, muggy night in Atlanta, Georgia. And if I'm the Kell Longhorns, I am trying to just jam it down their throats right now.
2nd down and about 6, 3:48 remaining. Here from the Stockyard in Woodstock, Georgia. Break the huddle. Kell again splits 3 up top. Looks like they have an extra tight end on that side. Empty backfield for Conley. 1 at the near side. Got to watch the direct snap. Here comes a man in motion. And they fake, throwing it all and in.
Oh, my, what a hit.
Nice pass in traffic.
Yeah, they're going to call that a personal foul. I think he came down with it. He got absolutely drilled. It looked like it was hitting the chest. And he caught that, and the personal foul is going to come in there for the hit, it looks like.
Tyler Reed on the reception, caught it in stride and then just got pounded.
I'm not sure Tyler Reed's going to be thanking Evan Conley for where he threw that ball, but a great job to come down with the catch. But, man, did he get hit.
Flagged out immediately at the 16. And if it is against, it'll be half the distance. Put the ball at the 8.
Yeah, you got to believe that. I mean, now wait, this ball's backing up. Maybe he didn't catch it?
Well, maybe it's the ball might have jarred loose because of that, the ferocity of the hit.
Now they're going to walk off the penalty, so.
Yeah, so it should be at the 20 is where this thing's going to wind up.
Yeah, it looks like it did pop out. Hard to tell in real time. He looked forward and just got drilled. So that'll set up first down right at the 20.
First and 10, 3:20 remaining. Kell trying to put this game away. We'll make it very hard for Lassiter to come back. Jackson behind Conley. 2 up top, 1 at the bottom. Jackson, and trying to step over the line, can't. We'll get to the 18, however.
Look like Jack Ferguson coming up in coverage, number 6, to make that play.
Yep.
Someone is down on the field for the Trojans. We're seeing the staff come out. I can't catch a number from the angle we're at there.
Yeah, it's, I want to say it's 2-something. We got 3:08 left as we take an injury timeout. Player down for the Trojans, just lying on his back. So you hope this is nothing serious, simply the wind getting knocked out, because the bodies are colliding over there. And we got the Kell staff, and I'm sorry, the Lassiter staff. I believe the Kell trainer is out there now. So we'll take a break here with 3:08 remaining.
Yeah,
and 16-3 ball game.
See if we can find you a couple of scores here. We got Greene County 17-14 at the half over Putnam. Marietta leading their game 28-0 at the half, and that's most of what I see here. Looks like he's up, down. Nope, still down on the ground, but it looks like they're getting him up shortly.
Well, this might be something really serious. I hear somebody calling for an ambulance.
Oh my goodness!
I thought I heard that. It's hard to tell here, hard to tell in the press box. But boy, this is. I think this is starting to bear the resemblance of something a lot more serious than a simple getting the wind knocked out.
And we apologize. We can't see a number. There's just too many bodies.
Yeah, there's too many bodies. It's really hard to tell. But as soon as we can get the identity, we'll be sure to pass that along to you. Again, we'll be Mays and Langston Hughes next week on our SportalTV Game of the Week. Going back to Lakewood Stadium back in South Atlanta. And then that big Grayson-Westlake matchup, followed by Cedar Grove and Lovett. Our look at Jaden Hazelwood, the top wide receiver commit in the nation, going to Georgia. So we'll see if he puts on a show for us on our SportalTV broadcast. 9 more games after this one. As now the Kell trainers are out there. And this is something, looks like we thought it was just a simple cramp, but I think this is starting to take on very serious overtones here. So we'll take a break. I mean, they definitely don't want to risk anything. Okay, it's a 2.
Yeah, we're going to wait until we know who the number is down there before reporting anything. We've got the coaches from Lassiter next to us, and we're going to wait to see if we can get a number on the player down. They're getting some help out here to make sure everything's okay.
As here comes the gurney and the stretcher.
Yeah, we did see him moving around for certain. I saw his legs moving around, so at least we know there's nothing that way.
Well, they're not going to take, and you don't want to take any chances.
Yeah, and sure enough, that the paramedic team is coming out onto the field here. They've got the backboard there, and they're gonna make sure that with this type of an injury or issue, they're gonna make sure to be very careful. We apologize. We have no idea what number is down there. We're not gonna report it until we're sure.
All right. Well, the gurney and the stretcher are there. Now they just have to make sure they very gingerly get him up there. As we see some state police over there as well.
Yeah, and I see the ambulance has been brought over to the corner of the end zone over by the Hot 107.910 over there. So they've got the support they need to get him any treatment or whatever he might need here. But still a lot of bodies around there, a lot of training staff down there.
Yeah, a lot. I think I'm.
Let's wait till we're sure, John.
Yeah, wait till we're sure. Wait till we're 100% sure. So, again, we got a little bit of delay in the action. 3:08 remaining here in the third quarter. 16-3. Favor of Kell.
Yeah, today's game is brought to you by SportalSpace. SportalSpace connects communities through youth sports. SportalSpace, every practice, every game. You're watching the SportalTV YouTube channel. We have the best live broadcast highlights, features on high school sports across Georgia and beyond. Subscribe now. Hit that subscribe button to SportalTV on YouTube. Still attending to a fallen player, one of the defenders here from the Lassiter Trojans. Looks like they're going to get him raised up there shortly.
I'm sorry, Brian, our Chuck Jones is down there. And hopefully he can help us with some news and identification from him, because he's probably got a much better angle than we do.
And we'll communicate with Chuck and see if he can get a number for us. We're not able to see it from up here. There's just too many bodies around there helping out the fallen player there from the Lassiter defense.
And while we wait, again, 16-3. Teams traded field goals early on. Then Kell got their defense in the act. A 54-yard interception return by Nick Ross off of a Mitchell Storm pass. And then Kell answered. Got another touchdown. Evan Conley found Cameron Ball for 21 yards out. Tried to go for 2. It failed. That's where we've been at, 16-3. Both teams, their defense has been on display here in this second half. And again, this is a very tense situation here for both teams, because when it all comes down, both these teams are brotherhoods. I mean, they're only 3 miles apart, so you figure everyone knows each other.
Yeah, these players have been playing against each other and with each other going back to junior football for many, many years. They're getting them up to the stretcher there, taking no chances whatsoever as both sides show respect for the player who's injured down there. 3:08 remaining here in the third quarter. The Kell Longhorns leading 16-3.
Yeah, they got him on the gurney.
Yeah, still have not seen he's on the backboard. It looks like they're getting him onto the stretcher. Gurney there. Have not seen a number yet, and our man on the field, Chuck Jones, is staying respectful distance. We have not gotten an answer from him yet on exactly who's down on the field yet.
Well, he's on the stretcher. Now they'll be wheeling him out to the ambulance, which is over by the Hot 107.9 crew, and taking him probably to Northside Medical. Waiting for them to get that stretcher moved.
All right, we're hearing it's number 45 for Lassiter, number 45, Evan Manring.
Okay.
45, Evan Manring has been down here for a few minutes on the field, taking no chances whatsoever. And that appears to be the player that is down for the Longhorns. A long pause in the action here while he is tended to. No one's going to take any chances here. Looks like Coach Sloan is going to pull the team together on the Longhorn side to make sure everybody stays focused on what they need to do when they come back out on the field here. Still making sure we get good treatment here and everything that needs to be done for the fallen player is done here.
So now the stretcher, he's on the stretcher, and they're just now wheeling the stretcher up. And there he goes. And you are right, it is number 45, Evan Manring.
And nice applause, standing ovation from the crowd here, encouraging Evan Manring on as he is going to get taken to the ambulance and treated. We do not know any details on his injury. It was a hard collision down there inside the 20-yard line, and he was on the defensive side for Lassiter. Both teams pulling together for a quick prayer. Teams pulling together for a quick prayer. We've got Coach Sloan pulling the entire staff together for the Longhorns, and the same thing happened on the other sideline. 3:08 remaining, and looks like everyone is going out to the middle of the field now. They're going out to the middle of the field to show solidarity for the hurt player.
Yep.
Good show of support here by both squads. As you said, John, these teams know each other well. These players know each other well. They're only 3 miles apart. You got to believe a lot of these kids have played with and against each other since they were little peewee kids playing football. And both squads really trying to help lift Evan Manring up. He's being taken out on the stretcher. We did see him moving around on the field. We do not have any more details. If somebody brings him up to the booth, we will certainly let you know. But we do see the ambulance getting set up there in the corner. We'll take him out to the hospital as soon as they can, it looks like. Both teams now coming together. Great show of support by both squads at the middle field, and it looks like coaches talking to both teams together now and showing support for the player that was hurt.
So while we do this, while we have this break in the action, let you know that you're watching SportalTV. Tense situation, so probably a prayer being given in support.
It looks like the Kell coaches leading both sides there. I can see right around the center between the two groups, everyone coming together very strongly here, this whole community. We're not sure the severity of the injury, but he was taken out on a stretcher and brought to the ambulance. We see the ambulance getting loaded in the far side.
Again, now the officials are going to join in for this moment of silence.
Yeah, very quiet here in this very large crowd. A few thousand people from both sides. Good support here. And they'll go back to the sidelines and try to regroup and get this game back underway, we believe, shortly.
All right, looks like we're about getting ready. Again, this has been about a 5 to 10 minute break. When we were done, we had a 1st and 10 at the 20, following a Kell first down.
We're showing you the ambulance in the corner. They were taking Evan Manring over to that ambulance in the corner, still getting him safely loaded in there. And it looks like they'll take a little bit of time here and let the teams kind of get resettled. A little bit of warm-up effectively, and then the action will be back here with 3:08 remaining in the third. Kell holding on to the 16-3 lead. It'll be 2nd down and 8 when we return.
All right.
Okay, looks like the teams are kind of loosening up a little bit, kind of almost like a halftime style warm-up. Brian Zwerner and John Morgo here for SportalTV. We had an injured player on the last play being taken off the field and brought to the hospital, looks like now. 3:08 remaining, and we'll be back underway here shortly. Hearing from our man on the field, Chuck Jones, the officials have given them a little bit of extra time to loosen up, get warm back up. So they're not rushing this one. They're going to make sure that everybody has time to kind of clear their heads, John, and get ready to play again, get refocused. They want to make sure that we come back out and we get a nice clean game. We don't see any sloppiness that comes out of a play like that.
Oh, exactly.
Both teams really coming together in a giant group at the at center field or the midfield, and showing a lot of support, as we've said multiple times. So the school's just only 3 miles apart. Players and families certainly knowing each other in a number of ways, and a nice show there. We are back with live football. The clock is rolling. 3 minutes remaining here in the third. Evan Conley will go to work.
Trying to get Kell on the scoreboard. Conley, he wanted to go to the near side. Now he's flush, trying to get to the far side. He'll get more than I thought he was going to get, to the 15, and he's down at the 14.
Yeah, nice little sneaky run there, John. We're going to get ourselves fired back up here, too. A little bit of a warm-up for us, too, and that'll bring up 3rd and short, easily in the field goal range for the Kell kicker, who can pad this lead. But Conley, he was looking for it all. He looked right to the end zone on the first play out of the injury.
So it'll be 3rd and 4. Give Conley 6 yards. As you can hear the ambulance leaving the facility. 3rd down and 4 from the 14. 3 to the near side, 1 up top. Ebony Jackson moves to Conley's left. He goes out in motion. Let's see if he's going to go left side. No, Conley's going to go right side or over the middle. It is complete, down to the 2, trying to fight his way into the end zone. Maybe a little short, maybe at the 1 or possibly the goal line.
Yeah, he's just short, but, man, is he close. And Conley did a nice job. The rush was coming hard from his blind side. Conley dealt that thing right down to almost the goal line off that little slant play, and it was a real nice pickup. It looks like they're bringing in maybe a heavier package here on 1st and goal for the 1. They've got a heavy package. They got everybody bunched in tight, and it's going to be probably Ebony Jackson taking this handoff right up the front. We'll see if Kell can punch him in the mouth.
13-yard pickup by Cameron Ball. Instead they do go to Jackson, but Lassiter's defense will not budge.
Yeah, the defense, great penetration on there. They busted through that line. You saw this huge, heavy lineup that we haven't seen all night long from the Longhorns, and the Trojans were ready for it.
So it'll be 2nd down and goal from that 1-yard line.
Looks like Jackson may have lost his helmet, so he'll have to come out for a play.
So Jackson comes on out. And replacing him.
Yeah, they're bringing in their spread package again. They're going back to their more traditional spread package with 3 or 4 wide receivers. You're seeing all the big bodies trot off the field, and they're going to spread it out at 2nd and 1. I wouldn't be surprised, John, to see Conley try to keep it himself. He's a shifty runner, and if he gets a little bit of spread move here, all he needs is a yard for the touchdown.
B.J. Abson came in. He was the running back in the first quarter. And they'll go to Abson. And Abson cannot get in.
No, sir. He is stopped at the right at the point of attack there. And now we bring up 3rd down. I like him to spread the field and let Conley make something happen himself.
Well, Abson loses 1. We got 56 seconds remaining. Officials call timeout. So it's now 3rd and goal from the 2. Now let's see if Jackson comes back in.
Now it looks like they're keeping him on the sideline on this 3rd down play. They're going to go with this spread package again.
Yeah, people coming in and out. Blancato's going to come out. And coming in will be number 22, Jamal Hill, sophomore.
Clock running down in the 3rd quarter here.
Yep. Might be one more play after this, but now going for the end zone, wide open. That's a touchdown.
Nice read by Conley. Conley just kind of spread the field out. He took the snap. He stood up tall, John, and he just found his receiver wide open inside the goal line. That was a well-designed play. They really picked the defense apart there. And Conley, 4-6.
That was number 22, Jamal Hill, who came in on that play.
Yeah, you caught him coming in, and so did Evan Conley. TD throw to Jamal Hill. 28 seconds remaining here. They take a big lead.
So it's 22-3. Tacking on the extra point is Flesher. And that makes it 23-3 with 28 seconds remaining. Here in the 3rd quarter, Kell now up by 20. And Brian, just from the way their defense is going, got to believe they're in control in this one.
Yeah, that's for sure. At the end of the 3rd quarter here, we had a bit of an injury timeout. One of the players really hurt on the Lassiter side, had to be taken off in an ambulance. Unfortunately, if we get any updates, we'll let you know. But Evan Conley came back on the field, calm, composed, went to work and found his man right in the 1, and then found the next man right inside the end zone, and they have a commanding 23-3 lead. Now Lassiter's going to have to find a way to dig deep and see if they can get some kind of offense going. They have not been able to move the ball down the field, John. It's been all runs up the middle and very quick swing passes have been snuffed out. The Kell defense has been pursuing great tonight and has really attacked the offensive side.
So Lassiter will get another crack at things as our 3rd quarter winds down. They'll have 12 more minutes after this. Try and get something going.
That's a critical drive for the Trojans. If they can't get anything going here, this one's going to get out of reach.
So Logan Flesher is going to kick off. Orgioki back deep. He's on the near side, so they're going to give it to, nope, not Orgioki. He's at the 3. Trying to come to that far side, get ahead of steam to the 15, close to the 20. That's number 30 is number 32, Tristan Decker.
So here in that Roswell, 70-yard touchdown pass, take a 27-7 lead over Centennial. We've got one of our Sportal News reporters out there, St. Pius opening up a bigger lead on Westminster in the 3rd quarter. We've got our man Rob Grubbs on the scene over there, so you can follow those on the @SportalSpace Twitter feed.
So it's 19 seconds on the clock. As the ambulance now coming across the back end of the end zone. Storm on 1st down, wings it down the field. But overthrowing his man who couldn't get free. He was looking for Matthew Gratchen.
Yeah, that play really never had enough time. He just kind of floated that thing out there, John, and it didn't look terribly intentional. Like he didn't really seem to have the receiver and him on the same page there.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10. So Gratchen again splitting out at the bottom here on 2nd down.
They haven't been able to get the protection to go downfield. That was the first really downfield shot we've seen the Trojans take pretty much all night.
Storm going to throw. Same play. Gratchen gets 3, but he cannot get to it.
And that was a nice play. You know, he was open across the middle of the field there. It was just a little bit underthrown. It was behind him. He went down to the ground to try to haul it in and wasn't able to catch that underthrown ball. But he had good protection that time, John. He was able to set his feet. He looked down the field. He saw the guy he wanted. He just wasn't able to connect.
That was Stephon Green providing the coverage. Again, he had 2 interceptions against East Coweta.
Last play probably here in the third quarter, 8 seconds left.
And it's third down. I think they're trying to draw them offside, draw the Longhorns offside, make it a 3rd and 5. But the snap count isn't confusing them. Storm, pocket collapses, running, drops the football, but it bounces right into his lap as he goes down, and that'll end the third quarter.
Oh, boy, he had 3 defenders that had gotten penetration. They were trying to set something up, but the Kell defense has played fantastic tonight, John. They are living in the backfield of the Lassiter Trojans, and there is nothing doing. They're going to be backed up deep in their own end zone here on 4th down, and they're going to have to punt this thing.
Yeah, Kell is going to get excellent field position to start the 4th quarter. And they're up 23-3, 12 minutes left on the clock. And Kell looking for more, as we will be back in a moment here on SportalTV.
Yeah, today's game brought to you by SportalSpace. SportalSpace connects communities through youth sports. SportalSpace, every practice, every game. The next week will be live as 2 of the top teams in the ATL battle. Langston Hughes visits number 7 ranked Mays for a region rivalry battle that is loaded with Division I talent. Join us live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Friday, September 7th on SportalTV on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss a thing.
That was Justin Talley, I think, was one of the attackers on that play as Storm loses 14 on that sack.
4th and 24 from deep in their own end zone. They're going to be lucky to get this thing punted away. And Blancato will set up at the 35-yard line, John.
Yeah, Blancato's now going to back up to near the 40. Now he goes 40, but he's on the near side. Expects that ball to angle to him. A very high punt. Blancato backs up, but it hits at the 35, takes a Kell bounce to the 32, down by Grotchen.
Yeah, Conley will go to work at the 32-yard line of the Trojans. So this is a dangerous situation. This game is starting to get out of hand. The Trojans are having a hard time stopping this high-flying offense. We said early on that this offense of Kell could really put up points in a hurry. We saw the way they played against East Coweta. It took them a while, John, to get going. It was a slow start. End of the first quarter was a 3-0, but by halftime it was 16-3. And Conley and company started to move the ball.
And now the Trojans could see the knockout punch delivered right here on this drive. As Conley backs up, he's got Deputy Jackson behind him. 2 to the near side, one at the bottom, 2 up top, 1 at the bottom. Jackson with a head of steam to the 30.
Oh, he's a big, strong back, John, and he punched through the defense there, and looks like he battled for pretty darn close to a 1st down. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Evan Conley try to go up top over this defense again. They're getting one-on-one coverage at the top of the screen on these two split wide receivers to the top right. And if he wants it, John, it's there. He can get one-on-one coverage. He can take something across the middle. He can go to the deep sideline. And he's got the arm to make those kind of throws.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 1 from the 25.
Now he's got the 2 receivers on the near side. But again, no real safety help there.
But Jackson, if he can just get that corner. Now they try to seal the corner, but he will get the 1st down, still on his feet down at the 20.
Yeah, stiff arm that first defender, kind of lost his footing for a second, but never went all the way down. And he's running the ball really well here since he's come on in the second half. Give him a nice new dimension to this offense.
That'll be a 1st down from the 22. 1st and 10. Again, Kell probably wants to work a little clock here in this situation. So I don't think they'll be in too much of a hurry to use that spread offense, not when Ebony Jackson is getting things going on the ground.
Yes, they roll under 11 minutes here. They've got a commanding 20-point lead, and if they can manage to punch this one in, it's going to be all she wrote for the Trojans.
Lassiter has won 3 straight, but just from the way Kell handled East Coweta, definitely had the edge coming in.
You knew this would be a little bit of a different game today, and it certainly has been. Evan Conley looks great.
Conley, high snap, but he gets it to where he wanted to go. Dragged on a shirt tail tackle from Ebony Jackson.
That was number 32 for the Trojans. That is Tristan Decker. Pulls him down by the back of his shirt, John, and that was a critical tackle because he had some movement towards that sideline.
Instead, losing maybe one.
Yeah, called 2nd and 11.
2nd and 11. We're at 10 minutes remaining. Trojans down by 20 to the Longhorns. Trying to make it 6 wins in this series against Lassiter 7. Again, Lassiter has won 3 in a row. Kell looking to break the streak. Jackson moves to Conley's right. Conley sends man in motion on the bottom. Doesn't go to him. Instead goes for it all, but overthrows his person.
I like them taking these chances, John. I see the one-on-one coverage. Conley's been dealing tonight. He's got a lot of speedy receivers, and I like him trying to take the top off the defense with those kind of plays.
That'll bring up a 3rd down.
Especially with their kicker, knowing that they can punch this thing through and put it at a 3-score, over 3 scores. Why not take the shot at the end zone? Try to get that knockout punch.
Cameron Ball was the intended target. 9:34 now on the clock. Conley, seems like there was almost too tight of a formation. Puts Jackson to his right. Splits the man in motion. Conley rolls, stops, comes back to the near side. It got tipped and unable to bring it down.
And that ball was bouncing around in the air. Looked like number 16 there, Tyler Halem, came up. And if that had bounced just a little better for him, John, he might have been able to pick that thing out of the air and go for 6 because there was no one in front of him.
Got a flag down. I think he was looking for Jamal Hill. Flag down with 9:29 left in regulation.
If I'm a coach out there looking at this Kell team, I'm thinking to myself they need to be moving up this coaches poll. They came in 10th in the coaches poll this week, but after the way they handled East Coweta and the way they're playing here against 7A Lassiter, I'm looking for them to pop a few spots in our poll this week, John.
Probably will. Field goal attempt for Flesher.
Going to be
No.
39 yards. Yep.
Yep, they are going to attempt a field goal. 39-yard attempt for Flesher. He's already hit one from 44 back, but that one was from the center of the field. This one, he's got to angle it a little bit. They put it down, he puts it up, putting it through.
Sure enough, look at that. We didn't see a single field goal. We barely even saw extra points kicked in our first 2 games of the week, and both of these teams have got great kickers.
And that makes it 26-3. Kell with 9:22 on the clock. And even though they didn't get a touchdown, Brian, they definitely made this a 4-possession game for Lassiter. So you got to believe, although they could, it is 3, but Lassiter will have to go for 2 and make it 3 times in order to edge out on top, 27-26.
Yeah, they've dug themselves a pretty deep hole here. And we'll see how they try to approach the rest of the 9 minutes left in this game. I think they'll probably try to run the football, just get a little something they can build on for the next game. Getting into too much of a spread, getting away from what they're comfortable with, not going to work out real well for these guys. Do you know a student athlete that had to overcome challenges to play the sport that they love? We want to share stories that can inspire others to dig deep and find success in sports and in life. Send us your Sportal stories and let us help you share them with the world. Back to the action here, 26-3. Today's game brought to you by Sportal Space. Sportal Space connects communities through youth sports. Sportal Space, every practice, every game.
Well, Flesher's going to kick off one more time. He seems like he's been doing that a lot in this second half. And in this ball game, 26-3. Favor of the Longhorns. And they host the Rome Wolves next week right here from this very same ballpark. Kick from Flesher. Lands at the 10. Trying to get to the near side is Orgioki. And he will get it past the 22, about the 23.
Yeah, I mean, if Kell can just hold their own, John, against the Rome Wolves, that's a victory. Rome blitzed through the playoffs last year. I don't believe they gave up a point, and they were winning games by 40 or 50 points in the playoffs last year. Nobody came close to what those guys were doing. So, big challenge for them, a tough region foe for them, the way this shakes out. Not a lot of 5A teams in this area of town, so they're playing teams from a little bit further away, way up to Rome, and man, that's a tough assignment for next week for Coach Sloan and his squad.
Ball on the near side as Mitch Storm goes to work. Having a little tougher go of it here today than he did against Pope. Again, they got shut out by Harrison in this first week of the season. Ojioke cannot find room on the line, said he's got to come to the near side, and he gets a little bit of running room, and I think he gets the first down.
He kept those legs churning, and he made something out of nothing, because that one looked like it was going to be nothing, and he managed to make something positive out of it at least.
I think he got 12 out of that, moves it to the 36. 8:56 left in regulation. Lassiter down by 23 points. Again, they take their bye next week for playing Wheeler. Ojioke this time.
He was
Nothing
dragged down from behind, it looked like. Looked like number 3, maybe?
Well, number 3, Justin Talley.
Number 5, yeah, Justin Talley.
Yeah, that's who they PA announcer credits with the tackle. Pickup of maybe 1. Second down and 9, actually second and 10 from the 37. Yeah, north-south just isn't working for the Lassiter Trojans, especially in the second half. That's where they're going to try again, and Kell's defense definitely up to the task.
Yeah, the defensive line's played incredibly well tonight for Kell. They've been swarming. They've been getting into the backfield. They've been making stuff happen all over the field, and they've been the difference maker tonight. The Lassiter's had a bit of an up and down run so far this season, as you said, John. 48-0 loss. Couldn't get anything going offensively against a very tough number 3 ranked Harrison team. Beat Pope 20-13, and now just struggling to get any kind of offense going at all here against the very tough defense of an experienced defense, returning 8 starters for Kell. And Kell's going to, come out of this one. They got a big matchup next week against the Rome Wolves. Look, if they can hold their own in that and fight for that division, for that region, that would be a heck of an accomplishment for Coach Sloan and his squad.
Andrew Pariato on the tackle. And it looks like Lassiter's going to put in a whole new package. Thought they were going to take a timeout, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. Clock's moving now as we get to 7:25 left here in the fourth quarter. Storm looking over at Jep Irwin in his 9th year. Got a record of 51-36. Rolling, stopping, going down.
Oh, goodness gracious. He was left out there on his own, John. There were 2 defenders coming. If the first guy didn't get him, the second one definitely would. And down goes Storm, 7:05 remaining.
And that is about the 3rd or 4th sack that Mitchell Storm has suffered in this ballgame. And Justin Talley on the tackle. And we've called his name a bunch here in the second half. And it's a punting situation. And Kell might get this ball around midfield.
Yeah, the Kell defense has just been coming at him hard and fast, and they have really made it a tough night for Mitchell Storm.
Well, a nice punt. Fair catch called. Fair catch received at the 32.
Let's see if we can hunt down a few extra scores for you while we've got a break here.
Well, Marist defeats Baylor 33-14. War Eagles go to 2-0. Mountain View's got a 21-14 lead. Eastside goes to 3-0 with their victory. Kennesaw Mountain 24, Riverwood 14. That's in the 4th. Lambert defeats Gainesville 16-15. Union Grove 35, Strong Rock Christian 20. That's in the 4th. Volwood beats Notre Dame 35-14. Irwin County 27, Mount Perrin 0. That's in the 3rd. Halftime, Dutchtown 14, Crisp County 3. I believe Mountain Creekview 24, Alatoona 13.
Going back in action here. Inside handoff to Jackson.
Yep, Jackson will get to the 35-37. Don't expect Conley to mix it up too much. We're probably just going to get a steady diet of Ebony Jackson. Again, Longhorns of Kell, they got this game well in hand.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of Jackson here. He sat out the first half. We don't know exactly why, but he is in here now, and this clock is just rolling. It's Longhorns' friend now, up 26-3 with 6 minutes remaining here. Still a great crowd. A lot of people out here tonight for this close-up regional battle. 2 teams just 3 miles apart from each other. We said it a few times in the broadcast.
And on second down, Conley is going to throw. It's complete. That's a first down to the 45.
You know, it's a great asset for Coach Sloan to know that he can trust Evan Conley to throw even this deep in a game. A nice, safe throw. Just lets his receiver go out there and sit down in the middle of the zone, John, and he just hits him, and he just trusts that pitch and catch is going to be there.
That's Cameron Ball, another reception for him. He's had about 3 or 4, including a touchdown. So we're at 5:44. Clock's moving, and Kell's got about 4 more plays. It's at the 46 of Lassiter. I'm sorry, their own 46. Hand off to Jackson, and Jackson will get it to the 49. Pick up a 3. That man, Owen Fritz, on the tackle.
And that looked like one of the other running backs in there. I think that was Cruz, Isaiah Cruz, number 3.
Cruz, okay. Again, kind of hard to tell with these numbers, but yes, you're right. That is Isaiah Cruz. Ebony Jackson probably done for the day.
Yeah, 5 minutes and change left. Comfortably sitting on this 26-3 lead. The big offensive line for Kell is just starting to overpower him. I think we're just going to see this clock roll its way down here.
Then Xavier Parrish comes back in, and he will replace Blancato. 4:15 counting.
Timeout taken by the Trojans, I believe.
Yep, they'll take it with 4:47 left in regulation. Again, kind of interesting story with Lassiter. They have a player who kind of takes on the number of one of their a very great athlete here, Philip Lutzenkirchen, number 13. I believe Hank Manning has been named the Lutzy leader, and he wears number 13 in this ball game.
No timeout. They're going again. Sorry, John.
No, it's all right. 2nd and 7. We'll get into that in a little bit. On the draw, Conley throws to the sideline pattern. It's complete and almost getting a touchdown. Got pushed down at the last second. And I believe that might be the man who came in for him, Xavier Parrish. It is, number 15. So you got to watch the guy who comes in. Again, Brian Lutzenkirchen died in 2014 after graduating from Auburn. Career leader in touchdowns by a tight end. So Lassiter created a foundation in his honor. He was a great athlete here for the Trojans. And just their effort to kind of give back to the community. And then we commend Coach Irwin for that step. 1st and 10 on the Lassiter side of things. And Cruz has got a lot of room. Cruz is going to keep going, and he's dragging people down to the 20.
That was a strong run. Cruz doesn't care if there's 4 minutes left in this game with a big lead, John. He's still running hard and trying to make things happen. Hearing a little bit from our man Chuck Jones down on the sideline. He talked to Mason Napper, number 58's dad from Lassiter, said they came up from South Florida. He's going to be going back down there after graduation to be the long snapper for the University of Miami. My favorite team, I will be seeing the University of Miami Hurricanes take on LSU on Sunday night as a fan in Dallas, Texas, as they play at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Well, best of luck with that trip. Sounds good. I'll be down in Miami a little bit later in the regular season. 1st down and 10 from the 24. Cruz in the backfield. Conley gonna throw. Goes for it all on a sideline route. And did he get it on this dive? He did. No.
Oh, just lost it out there. Maybe out the back of the end zone. We couldn't quite tell from up here.
Looking for Jamal Hill.
Good opportunity. And, man, they are not letting up the gas here. Longhorns still looking to put something on. And, man, oh, man, he almost connected in the back of the end zone.
So 3:13 remaining, 26-3 here on this last day of August, the 31st. As
tried to work that one to Hill, it sounds like.
Yeah, Jamal Hill.
Yeah, working some of the younger guys in here. Sophomore, 5'10", 170, number 22, Jamal Hill, laid out at the back of the end zone. Johnny, you got to wonder when Conley's night's going to be over here. Why are you leaving him out here up by 26-3 with 3 minutes left?
Well, he'll go with Cruz, and Cruz has stepped up at the line. Brought back down, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. And he'll get the clock moving. We'll get under 3 minutes. Again, Owen Fritz led the team in tackles. Coming into this ball game, had another impressive day.
Yeah, we're going to be live next week as Langston Hughes takes on Benjamin Mays High School, Atlanta Public Schools, Lakewood Stadium. 2.5 minutes remaining here in the 4th. Kell is pouring it on against Lassiter.
Waiting for the snap for Conley on 3rd and 11. Conley got time. Now it breaks down. Oh, surprise, the hole wasn't called. Conley winds up, throws to the end zone. He's got a man. Overthrows him barely.
John, I get going for it here, but, I mean, at this point, I'm putting Evan Conley. He is too important to me. I'm putting him on the bench.
Well, it brings up 4th down.
I don't like seeing Evan Conley on these naked bootlegs at this stage of the game. It's just not necessary. I'd be finding the backup quarterback. I'm not sure who he is, but that's who I'd be going to.
It's the sophomore, number 18, Corbin LaFrance.
I'd love to see Corbin LaFrance playing at this point in the game with 2 minutes left and nursing a 26-3 lead.
Well, field goal unit's going to come out. First will be a 41-yard attempt for Flesher, trying to make it 29-3.
Yeah, Flesher's got the leg for it. We saw him punching balls that were going to go way longer than this.
And he is in the center of the field, doesn't have to angle it, can go straight on. He does. And it's long enough, and I think it's good enough.
Good, yes, sir. Wow, he's got a great leg. That's a real asset for this team.
3 field goals by Logan Flesher, and that one's just going to put the icing on it. It's 29-3 with 2:11 remaining.
Yeah, tonight's game brought to you by SportalSpace. SportalSpace connecting communities through youth sports. SportalSpace, every practice, every game. You are watching the SportalTV YouTube channel. We have the best live broadcasts, highlights, features on high school sports. John, we don't just cover football. Last night we were live for a volleyball matchup. 4A Titans, Woodward visiting Marist. Marist, the 4A state champion in volleyball, hosting Woodward, a Final Four team. It was a great night, John. I've watched a lot of volleyball. My daughter plays volleyball. Marist has a player, Jackie Boney, committed to University of Michigan as only a sophomore.
Wow.
Goes 6'3", and she scored almost 20 of the 50 points in the 2 sets. She was phenomenal. One of the best players I've seen. Plays our club ball up here for A5. And wonderful, wonderful player to watch. And a fun game. You can catch that replay on the SportalTV network. We will have one more live volleyball game this season as Westminster, the 3A runner-up, hosts McIntosh, the 5A champion, on September the 13th.
Kickoff now for Flesher. Orgioki back deep. See if they kick it to him. Trying to go to the sideline, and Orgioki gets it at his 2. Orgioki cuts to the middle of the field, gets to the 15 before being met.
Whoa, met is a understatement. He got clobbered there.
Kennesaw Mountain 31, Riverwood 20. That's in the 4th quarter. And we are at the 2-minute mark, just about 2:04 left. Kell up comfortably, 29-3. As Kell will go to 2-0 on the season. Lassiter will drop to 1-2. Interesting thing about Lassiter, they are 3 wins away from their 200th in program history. They're at 197, but they're going to have to wait 2 weeks to go after 198 because they are off next week.
Well, they'll line it up here, probably just see him try to run the clock out at this point. No sense in doing anything too fancy with 2 minutes left and down by 26 points.
On first down, Orgioki
swarmed and swallowed by that defense. They have been doing this all night. That has been the story of the game, the swarming defense for the Longhorns. They put so much pressure back there on Storm. He's been able to get nothing going since early in the 1st quarter.
So it'll be 2nd down and 12, 100 seconds to go. Both teams with all timeouts, neither team in any anxious hurry to use them. Mary Persons defeats Morrow 62-12. Don't know why they're not called Merry People. Storm hands off to Orgioki, going to the far side. Orgioki trying to make the corner, but brought down hard.
Yeah, the defensive line just strung that one out, tried to get the sideline into play, and he went nowhere.
Nate Wolgerin, number 10, on the tackle for the Kell Longhorns.
Yeah, it's been a great night up here at Cal Stadium in Marietta, Georgia. We've had a lot of fun here. It's been we've appreciated the hospitality. It's a beautiful stadium, beautiful press box, and real nice folks have been taking care of us up here. We'll be live for Langston Hughes and Mays next week, 8 o'clock Friday night, September the 7th.
As we are under a minute, Lassiter probably can run one more play before sending this game to the column of final. Orgioki, he'll get a couple to the 18-17. We're at 30 seconds exactly. Depends on when they get this play Ball spotted and starting the play clock, and it's under 25, so I don't think.
About to it.
Yeah, I don't think Lassiter doesn't have to get a play, and they're not going to. So that is going to do it. Your final score, 29-3, favor of Kell. Lassiter gets 3 points right off the bat, and then after that, it's all Kell Longhorns.
Yeah, Evan Conley played a great game. He was moving the ball around to different receivers. The Kell defense was swarming, and that's certainly the story of the night. Those two things are what drove this game. It's been a lot of fun up here. Brian Warner here with John Morgo. You've been watching the SportalTV network, joined by our cameraman, Stephen Meyer, and our producer, Joseph Johnson. We appreciate you joining us here. Tune in next week. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you get our content throughout the week. And that's a wrap for us. Good night.